right, let's see if that does it. Give me C. I don't want to be all distorted. You guys said I was distorted last time. You said there was problems last time. There was issues last time. I don't want any issues this time. See if we can get it right. Oh, this is up. The numbers are there. You guys tell me if I'm not distorted. Tell me if I'm happy. Well, welcome to the Bottom of the Glass Nation show. It is a little bit after 6 o'clock p.m. Los Angeles time. Why? Well, that's where we're broadcasting from. Los Angeles time. This brings back the memories of people who make those conversations like, I would never, ever do that again. We're from Los Angeles time zone. Yeah, it's always after the comma, right? The comma makes things... Oh, yeah, putting commas in situations where you need them, and I'm doing that brilliantly. We are the Bottom of the Glass Nation. Welcome to the Bottom of the Glass Nation show. Let me back up real quick. There's a couple things. Number one, we are Generation X. We're Gen X Talks. We are a bunch of extras. Well, Generation X, that would make sense. We're extras. We formed a Legion of X, and we hang out at the Bottom of the Glass Nation. Don't forget that, because it all makes sense. And if you really want to know how that all happened and how I became nicknamed the General, it goes back 3 years to, there was actually 2 or 3 days of drinking 3-hour shows. They're posted. You can go back and watch it. They're 3-hour drunken fest of stuff and how we got to where we are with the names. And believe me, I was just as surprised the next morning to go back and rewatch the stream as you guys were and go, holy shit, I didn't realize we did. We accomplished a lot that night. We accomplish a lot when we're drinking. Now, before we get into this too far, there might be a special guest arriving. If there is, then we will take a second and set up the mic and camera over there. No kid. No Gen X mom. That's right. No Briggs. No Queen. No. It's just me and staff sprinkled across the country doing the best they can. So we'll see how bad this goes. Michael Dawson, man, for 2 years. No smoke signals. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you know what? Michael Dawson is correct. I forgot the smoke signals tonight. I got all carried away. I forgot the smoke signals. For those of you who don't know what smoke signals are, I can tell you what we do on... Well, not when I fuck it up. That's not good. We don't want to do that where you fuck that up. That was the wrong one to do. Take that one off. Put that one back on. Let's take this one off and then go. Well, now it's gone. Oh, there it is. Okay, Patreon. Yeah, Patreon's $1. It has 3 years, over 3 years of behind-the-scenes stuff that nobody gets to see, not for public consumption. But like Michael Dawson just said, I'm supposed to send out an email before the show. I didn't get to it this day. Very rare that I missed that. As much as Michael Dawson would say, you missed the smoke signals, but he would also have to admit it's very rare that we don't send you guys out an email letting you know when we're going on. And the reason we do that, the reason we use Patreon, there's no other way on Facebook or on YouTube or on Rumble. We can't send you anything letting you know we're going on. We just are going live. We just have to hope that the platforms tell you. We have to hope that Facebook lets you know. We have to hope YouTube lets you know. The emails I get all the time, I haven't got a notification. I clicked the subscribe. I hit the bell. We know. Conservative, common sense thinking channels get squashed, especially every election year. We already know that. So Patreon allows us to have this. The only way we can have direct contact with you, and we just let you know what's going on. We give you all the behind-the-scenes stuff, but we can also send you an email letting you know. So Michael Dawson, thank you very much. That Michael Dawson been around since God created dirt. That's how long he's been here. And I'm over here to your left. My right is the Sheets Pin PayPal. That had to be Trippy Dippy saying that. Patreon, Virginia Talks, and the PayPal did not pin PayPal. For those of you wanting to give us a little help financially, sometimes you give $1 or $2. You can do it through stars in Facebook. You can do it through Super Chats. But the best way to keep all of the platforms out of it is when you guys donate through PayPal. So if you do that, the PayPal link has been pinned. I'm sure the staff did it. I'm sure Josh Maddox has got that up on Rumble. Every show, every time. Josh is very faithful about pinning that. For the 7 people that watch us on Rumble, Sammy Joe is your Facebook moderator on Facebook Blue, and Chris Yerger, he is your administrator on Facebook Personal. So if you see those names floating by, they're staff. They're staff. You can kick them in the shin anytime you want. All right. Jennifer Whitehead, member for 17 months, got her big red one. Legion of X, made it this far. Handsome General. Now, see, Jennifer called me handsome. If I get 2 more handsomes, I can begin the show. I've only got 1 handsome. 1 handsome ain't going to cut it. We're just going to sit here and talk about bullshit and tell... handsome! Come on, man. Are you not seeing this? Handsome, come on. All right, I can turn this down, but I can't turn it off. So if I turn it up to 4 or 5, I do apologize. The handsomes will come flooding in. Now, don't make me do it. Just offer it up for free, and then I don't got to get all squirrely here. GX Patrick, member for 26 months, bottom of the Glass Nation. Minnesota governor, how soon they forget. I know. We're not trying not to talk politics in here. Sean MacArthur, General, since it's just you here, 200 stars for your alcohol fund and some Jack, 200 stent. Thank you very much. Hey, you guys, I'm not kidding when I say a special guest may arrive. May arrive in the studio here. Go Smoke a Toad, member for 27 months. Smicky! That's too handsome. Smicky called me handsome there. All right, so let me get back to what I want to talk about. Before we even go anywhere, something bothered me today. I think we've all run into this once in a while. Not too long, but this is just a simple picture. You guys see this here? It's a simple picture on your screen. Kids playing outside. Kids playing in the street. Don't know what year it is. Doesn't matter. Don't care. But it hit me all of a sudden that at some point in my life, there was a last day I played baseball with my friends at the end of our street when I was growing up. I lived on Allott Street, Allott, on the corner of Allott and Lull, Lull. And that was that cul-de-sac, or that semi-cul-de-sac. That was our baseball field in the 70s. And we loved it. There was ice cream trucks. There were strips of grass. There were sprinklers. There was hot summer. We used to have stick races down the gutters. It was clean water down from sprinklers, and we'd have stick races in it. We'd ride our bikes everywhere. There was a couple of dirt lots, like the sand lot, but they weren't quite that big. We had a couple of dirt lots. It was a great place to grow up. And I grew up in Los Angeles. L.A. County wasn't in downtown L.A., but the suburbs of Los Angeles. But at some point, my last stick race was done. I didn't know. I'd never go back and race little sticks down the gutter. I didn't know that was my last one. At some point, when I gathered up my bat and my mitt and my helmet and the balls, and we drug our stuff, when I went home, that was the last time I was ever going to play baseball again. And I didn't know it. You know, the last time that we rode our bikes and built jumps down in the middle of the street is actually down not to the one end or the other. It's kind of a dirt lot in the middle of our neighborhood. But one time I did that. I did it all the time. But one time was the last time. I never went back again. And I think of some of those friends now, and some are gone. Some have died, accidents or health related. But some of them I haven't seen since those times. We had a big neighborhood. We had lots of side streets. We had lots of kids, probably 70 or 80 kids, over all these blocks and stuff. And then we had our core group of our kids in our area. There was like 7 or 8 of us. But at some point, the last thing you're doing, you don't even know it's the last time. Now, I got bothered by that I didn't appreciate those times more. And what kid would? But then I started thinking, I looked out the studio door here into our backyard, and we got a swimming pool with a barbecue. And we built a backyard for our last batch of kids, our last batch of 8 kids. I've raised 32 children in my tenure. And this last batch of 4 boys and 4 girls, Gen X Mom, your queen, and I raised. And we built the yard to entertain. We had hundreds of kids over for parties in the summer. Our house was the one everybody wanted to. The ice cream truck just fucking planted himself out in front of our house. And at some point, that was the last swim party. We used to have grown-up adult parties around here with all of our friends. We'd play music, go swimming, and hang out. And at some point, we haven't done that in a while. At some point, that was the last one. But I didn't realize it. I don't know if there's a way to ever know which is the last of something you're going to do. I mean, unless you know, all right, we're heading up, we're moving out, this is it, and you call it. I mean, you can say it out loud if you plan it that way, maybe. When are we going to have our last Gen X talk show? When is the kid going to put up his last short, his last TikTok, his last 1-minute video? We have a lot of fun hanging out. We see each other in person. I know a lot of you because we've hung out together. We've done stuff in person, especially staff. But when's the last time, and maybe you don't even realize that you think it's not going to be the last time, but then it is? What about in your own life? What about with your wife or your husband or your girlfriend, boyfriend? What if you're just hanging out with your dog? When's the last time? I miss my dog. My dog's name was Riley, and I miss Riley terribly. I didn't realize the last time we were going to go hiking in the hills. I thought we'd go back, and we never did. When was the last time that you did something that you can remember right now and go, oh my God, he's right? I'm just saying it creeps up on you, and very rarely do you see it. I won't say never, but very rarely do you see it coming. Maybe you're doing something right now, and it is the last time, or it's close to the last time. You don't even know it yet. Now, I'm not trying to get morbid. I'm not saying, your wife's going to go out for pizza or something and get hit by a truck. I'm not saying that. That can happen anytime, and that's kind of taken from you. I'm talking about when you really start enjoying everyday life, when you have barbecues and swim parties, you have people over and you have dinners and you go dancing and you go karaoke or whatever it is you guys do. And you do it and you do it and you do it, and summers pass and years pass, and then all of a sudden you look back and you're like, I haven't done that in a while. And then you look back and say, I haven't done that in forever. And then you realize you're not doing that anymore. Whatever it was, that was it. Just kind of hit me when I saw that picture with those kids in the driveway or in the street, that they're enjoying their day like any kid would. Not a care in the world. And they'll keep doing that for a few more years probably. But at some point, they'll start going their own separate ways. They'll have teenage friends that do stuff, or they'll get a car. And all of this goes away until you just look back and you won't remember. I cannot remember the last time that I played baseball in the street in Van Nuys. I cannot remember the last time that we had a big pool party here with all the kids, with every child here. I can't remember. Had to be some point. Just thought I'd lay that out there for you guys, that sometimes it's, I don't know, as we get older, Generation X, it's sometimes that things slip away from us that maybe we would like to remember, but we don't. Didn't know how you guys felt about that. All right, to my right, your left is the sheet. Susan Ray, Facebook Blue. You're bringing tears to my eyes with your memories. Yeah, Susan, it's your memories too. That's what's bringing tears to your eyes. When Susan, she writes that on Facebook Blue. But the truth is that it's just memories. It's not. She's not crying over mine. She's crying because mine relate to hers, and hers probably relates to mine. Danny H. gifted 5 memberships. Danny H. is our Invisa Hoochie captain around here. Ed K., Fred Balls, Kim Campbell, and Gen X Ben, and Ryan Weagle. Listen, if you guys got memberships given to you, like Danny H. just gave those on YouTube, after the show's over, there is a community section on the YouTube channel. A lot of people have those. You don't even know that it's there. But there is 3.5 years of behind-the-scenes stuff. Now that you've been gifted a membership, you get 30 days. 30 days, and you can go check out just scroll back, get something to drink, order lunch, because it's going to take you a while. There's a lot of stuff we don't give for public consumption. If you're on Facebook, it's a Facebook page called The General's Lunchbox. If you're on Facebook, you can go there. You don't got to go there now, but just scroll through, take your time. There's a lot of stuff in there, but then there's some really good, there's some meat and bones in there too. Meat and potatoes in there too. Meat and bones was the wrong thing to say. Meat and potatoes. Anyway, you got to go back and look at that. It's $1, but it's worth it. Jack Armstrong is over on, I can't read what that says because it's crowding my thing. He's on Facebook personal page. Good evening, handsome general, my wife says. And this is from Montana Mama, 200 stars from Jack Armstrong and Montana Mama. And we just leave Jack's name out of it. Montana Mama called me handsome and sent me 200 stars. Okay, I don't even care about Jack no more. Who gives a shit? Facebook personal, Diane Dull Reed. I remember my last volleyball match in high school, 1978. We were family. Yeah, boy. Now that I can remember. I think I can clearly remember the last football game if I try hard enough, a couple of basketball teams that, yeah, when that season's over. Now, that's because you know the season's over. But, Diane, I'll go along with you about that. That's something you just don't forget. 200 stars said, thank you very much, sweetheart. John Morgan, $2. There was a last day. There was a last day my knees didn't hurt. Yeah. All right. Anybody remember that? Everybody who wakes up and your knees hurt and your wrist hurt, you ache in pain. When was the last day that you got up and it didn't hurt? Can anybody remember that day? Oh, Facebook personal. Sean MacArthur General, since just you, 200 stars sent for the alcohol fund. I think I read that already. Enjoy some Jack, 200. Thank you very much. Kevin Grimes, member for 2 years. Is that Mama X in the jar? Well, we do have a $2 whore in the jar. Anytime you guys put $2, donate $2, a $2 whore drops. We change it every week. I refuse to answer that question on the terms that it may can incriminate me, Kevin. But thanks for bringing that up. Sandy, feeling melancholy tonight, General? I don't know, I'm feeling something. That's over on Rumble. So Sandy's over on Rumble. I don't know why you got that 7262. I'm not sure what that's for. Is it code? I don't know. Jesse Piate on Facebook Blue. Do you remember the last time someone said banana sauce? Okay, you know what? If there was a way to put you in fucking Facebook jail, I would do it right now. I'd fucking put you there in a fucking heartbeat. If there was a woodshed over on Facebook, Jesse'd be in it for a fucking hour. Goddamn redneck, hillbilly, inbred Jed son. Sorry, getting carried away. All right, back to the regularly scheduled program. Let me talk about some stuff in here. All right, I want to tell you guys a story that's going to make you mad. I'm going to tell you a story. It's going to make you mad. We talked about it before, and I'll give you a little bit of history on it. Not much history, but some history. Is that you guys remember when the cancel culture hit, and they got rid of Aunt Jemima? And I remember I was fighting against it so hard and going, just leave it there. Cleveland Indians are gone. Yeah, can't have that. Washington Redskins are gone. You can't have that. And they used to say, well, there's a tribe of Indians that say it's okay. Well, there's a tribe of Indians that say they don't like it. Well, there's black people that like Aunt Jemima. Well, there's black people that don't like Aunt Jemima. And there was no way to win that war, because at the time, everybody was cancel, cancel, cancel. You're racist, you're phobic, you're offensive. Now it's worn off and nobody gives a shit anymore. I mean, let's face it. It's not that big a deal. Not like it was 2 years ago. Oh, there's a little bit of it around. People are still careful what they say, but not like it was at all. Nobody gives a shit. Or I wouldn't even be talking about this right now. But this came up again. This came up again with me in person. So I'm going to tell you the story. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. Oh, okay. So here I am, minding my own business. And there's this, and the reason I brought this up is because this happened not too long ago, but then this hit my phone in my feed for some reason. The only way you should stack butter, according to Land O'Lakes, and I'm like, who gives a shit how you stack them? Like, I'm going to buy so much butter, I need to learn how to fucking stack it appropriately. What am I, 36 of these 36 bars in or something? I don't know. Fuck it. I'm a big fat white guy, but I don't sit there and just mow on butter sticks all day long, contrary to popular belief. Anyway, do you notice the picture in here does not have the Indian? Remember her, the little Indian lady? She did this, and it was the Land O'Lakes Indian girl, and she was on there forever. And the Native Americans found it offensive. And they had it removed. And everybody's like, we're not making fun of you. We're not teasing you. In fact, we're kind of honoring you. No. And it wasn't all of them. It's probably not even a majority of them. But you just get the right few assholes in charge, and you can get anything canceled. Just with a handful of assholes. So if you were one of those assholes who helped get rid of Aunt Jemima, the Cleveland Indians, and the Land O'Lakes Indian, fuck you. All right, now I'm moving on. So, in a grocery store, I hear two people discussing this, and they weren't arguing. They were like, oh, you remember the Land O'Lakes? And the one woman took the position of, well, it was right. It needed to go. It was offensive. They were using her, and you can't use minorities in that fashion. And I should have kept my fucking mouth shut. And I just chimed in, and I said, well, I'm glad it happened. And they both turned. I'm sorry, the eavesdropping here, overheard you, but Yeah, the Land O'Lakes Indian, she needed to go. And the one lady says, see, this man knows. This man knows. I said, Cleveland Indians, Washington Redskins, Aunt Jemima, the black woman with the red bandana. She had to go too. Well, that's right. Now, do you see? And there she's talking away. And then I said, yeah, who the fuck do they think they are anyway? And she looks and goes, what? I said, who do these people think they are? You think an Indian deserves to be on butter? Who the fuck told them that? No. You're just a Native American. You don't deserve to be on butter. Your face shouldn't be anywhere. Fucking take that shit off. Who was that Aunt Jemima deserved to be on syrup? The nerve of those people thinking they could just put one of their women folk up there and we just tolerate that. Boy, we did it for Chicago. Cleveland, Chicago, Cleveland Indians. We only have so many baseball teams. Okay, we only have so many. We're not going to name one after Indians. There's way better people that we can name it after. Who do they think they don't deserve? Indians don't deserve a Major League Baseball club, and the Washington Redskins. We don't have that many NFL teams. Who do they think they were? You think you guys, Native Americans, you bunch of Indians, you think you rate? You think you rank high enough in the society? You get a football team? No. I don't know how you guys got away with it for so long. But lady, I'm with you. Rip all these people down off here. Well, she was stumped at first. And remember, I've had this conversation before. I have dealt these words in this direction on purpose before. Well, that's not why they took him down. They were taken down for they were using and abusing, and they weren't doing it. I said, oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're standing up for them by tearing their shit down. I don't know how we got them to believe that story, but no, I'm with you, lady. I'm with you. We're protecting you by tearing your shit down so no one can see it again. I'm with you. You following me so far? I did that. I had those arguments on purpose during the time when cancel culture was just at its peak. I didn't know how else to get people angry that things were coming down. I didn't know. You can't use reason. You can't use logic. I tried that. I tried explaining it. I tried talking about it. I said, look, the people that are involved in this, they want to keep it, and you're overstepping your bounds like you always do, you bunch of fucking tards. And I finally came up with that thing. It's like, well, go along with them. Yeah, tell them they fucking don't deserve it. Who the fuck are they? Who the fuck are they to think they get that shit up? Yeah, let's look around the grocery store right now. Come on, let's walk around. Let's see who else we can rip down there. Fuck these guys. All of a sudden, when you present an argument that way, people get angry. People get upset. People all of a sudden turn, wait, what do you mean Native Americans can't? Yes, we can. We should have faces on butter. We're cool enough too, man. We're somebody. We count. Oh, what are you going to do? Rise up and make a big deal now? Well, yeah, fuck it, man. You can't talk like that. We're somebody. Well, where were you the fuck couple years ago? You fucking sitting on the sidelines while all this shit's going on, and me and some others are trying to stand up for you, and you didn't do shit. Maybe you don't deserve it if you can't fight back. Just letting you guys know that I wasn't even going to talk about this story. We've talked about it off and on a few times over the past 3 years. Not often, but some of you probably heard this story before. But the point of it is that it is the only way that I found to make an impact on these assholes when they're trying to fuck shit up like that, right? And what better way to do it than to side with them and tell them they don't deserve it? But I just thought you guys should know. And that, I wasn't even going to bring it up, but it came across, that Land O'Lakes thing came across my feed on how to stack butter. They could have had any other brand of butter out there. I probably wouldn't even have cropped it out to show you guys. Wouldn't even have cared. Who gives a shit? No. you guys, oh no, you got to do the Land O'Lakes thing. Mm-hmm. Hang on, I got to check my phone just to make sure our special guest isn't sitting out in the driveway. Stand by, citizens. We need some on hold music here, or some sort of music. Okay, no, not yet. Yeah, okay. We're good. So just letting you guys know. But it's conversations like this, when I have them on air, this is where we lose. This is where we get banned. This is where that Facebook pulls the live stream. YouTube will pull, like, you can't talk like that. And then you got to go through they block you. They ban you. So you're not allowed to. You can't just, this is a privilege to be on here and you're misusing your privilege. No, I'm fucking straightening shit out with common sense. Not even thinking twice. In fact, in my case, I'm not even thinking once. Let's be honest about that. Everything I tell you is a made-up lie, and you need to be drinking a lot of alcohol so you believe every lie in every story. But as long as you're doing that, this symbiotic relationship is going to work perfect. I don't think twice. I don't think once. It's mostly a knee-jerk reaction, I feel. Yeah. So as long as you're coming on board with me on that, we're going to be okay. All right. So what was the other one? Yeah, the stuff that came across my phone when I'm looking at this shit, I don't believe this shit. Now, let's all remember, I'm just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. I think we can all agree on that. My IQ is somewhere between Elon Musk and Forrest Gump. I think that's fair to say. But this thing says MIT's trillion frames per second camera can capture light as it travels. Okay. Now, this is just me being a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. It's just me thinking out loud from my age bracket. A trillion frames per second. I don't think anymore there's something opening and closing, clack, 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 inside the camera, clicking frames. They can't be, because you couldn't even make a machine that could do a trillion in a second. So what defines a frame? What's a trillion frames? Is it just a super fast camera and it's video and they play it back and a computer program slices 1 second into a trillion pieces and says, look, we got a trillion frames per second. No, you had a high-speed video camera that recorded 1 second. You had a computer that chopped it up into a trillion frames, and now you're serving it up like a big deli sandwich. Look what we've got. A trillion frames per second. Now, let's be clear on something. They're probably 100% right. I'm probably 100% wrong. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I work on cars. That's nothing like this. And so this just intrigued me a little bit. This bothered me a little bit. I had to call bullshit on this a little bit. Now, I'm sure somebody, if Neil deGrasse Tyson comes by and sits down, I'm sure he could explain it to me. But right now, I'm thinking, fuck that trillion. You can watch light grow. Okay, so can I. We've been watching light grow. We can see light extending with the naked eye since 1977. I saw Star Wars. I have seen them turn on a fucking lightsaber. Got it. Okay, MIT, let's move on, buddy. You're only 40 years behind the target here in my perspective. Look, you guys wanted to be here tonight. Oh, if our guest gets here, I swear to Christ, if our guest gets here, we're going to start drinking heavily right away. I'm going to put him on here and just start pouring the shots and pouring the shots and pouring the shots, and then he can just drag my fat ass into the house. That's what's going to happen if he shows up. He should. You know who this guy is, too. And I swear to God, if any of you out there and anywhere, if you write the word Grant, I will fucking ban you from the channel forever. Forever. Nice pull on my part, if you know what that is. All right, so the speed of light, watching light grow, we've already done it. Trillion frames per second, bullshit. I call bullshit on that. I'm not even drunk enough to hear your explanation. But maybe you guys are out there. I doubt that anybody from MIT is watching this show. If anybody from MIT is slumming, if they've lowered themselves to watch this program, maybe they've had a little too much to drink, like, hey, look at this guy. Then fucking figure it out and say something, man. We got a comment section here on every platform. Write your shit down, man. I'll read it. I don't know. What the fuck? Who knows? All right, where was I? Let's go over to the sheets. To my right, your left, the staff has been pulling comments from both Facebook pages and Rumble and YouTube in the hopes that I will read them, and I'm going to do that right now. Patrick Deocampo from Facebook Blue. How can I join Moving to Reno? How can you join Moving to Reno? Well, I guess you just got to sell everything you own and camp out with us. And when we sell everything we own, we all go together like the Beverly Hillbillies. I'll get us a 1921 Oldsmobile, big old fucking truck, and we can just pile all our shit on it. And we can put Aunt Edna on the top, paint it green, call it the family truckster, and away we go. Do you see how many levels I covered in that? How many nice pulls there were? You see, see, Generation X caught all that shit. They caught every bit of that. Like, oh, that, they got a bunch of that stuff. And the studio is now a brighter place. So listen what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn off the microphones for a second and put you on the Be Right Back screen. Turn off the mics and try to get some stuff set real quick. All right? Don't just look it. During this moment when I'm not here, put the cat out. Let the dog in. Pull the drapes. Grab an adult beverage and sit the fuck down. Why is the cat going out? Cats don't like the show. Why is the dog coming in? Dogs seem to love this show. There. Now I've said it. All right. Here you go. I'll be right back. Where's the Be Right Back screen? Goddamn hillbillies. And Big Daddy
Sad lazy dog.
Say that again?
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Does anybody know who this is? Does anybody know who the special guest is? He's a little bit of a whiny bitch tonight because he's not. He had expectations of what was going on over here.
Disappointed. Yeah,
you are a little disappointed.
Yeah, false pretenses.
Well, I did lie.
To the least.
I told you, hurry. The strippers are drunk and they're getting ready to leave.
Yeah,
and you made it. Anybody? Nobody has any idea, huh? Nobody has any idea. While you guys are still thinking about that, let me blow through the sheets and get this done. Patrick Diacampo talked about moving to Reno. Yogi Belcourt on Facebook personal. Just like the Indian mascots, we didn't care about it either, but those with the money started that new BS rules. Yeah, Yogi, I'm on your side on that completely.
Chris Cuomo. People are saying there's no volume. Sorry.
Well, they were, but I turned it back on now. I didn't want to make a big deal that it wasn't on. I just wanted to turn it back on and I didn't want to apologize and go, sorry, the last 80 seconds there was no sound. If I don't say something, they may think it's on their end.
Well, I'm definitely not Chris Cuomo.
No, you're not. No, you're not Chris Cuomo. No, I had to look twice. Dion Beatty, Facebook personal. I miss my Washington Redskins. The Commanders is a dumb name. I had to get rid of so many hoodies. I would have kept them warm anyway. I'm serious. I would have got a Washington Redskins full-blown helmet and worn it to every game, and I would have painted little fuck yous on the side of it. But what do I know? Russell Covey, Facebook personal. Go Broncos, 200 stars sent. Kristen Hartman, member for 6 months. Unfortunately, the stupid walk among us, and they vote. They're like the dead. They don't know they're stupid. Uh-oh, jumped on me there. They don't know they're stupid, but everyone else does. Kristen Hartman is just a plethora of knowledge. Okay, turn my whole screen teal green here. Woods Precision Arms, $4.99. Gen X Dad, sometimes just time to nut up or shut up and stand up for what's right, period. Woods Precision Arms, well said, my man. Michelle M. with her big red one, member for 18 months. She is the top tier level KGXD Studios member. Without freedom of speech, we wouldn't know who the idiots are. Isn't that the goddamn truth? We got to keep them talking. We don't know who to slap around. Brittany Armstrong, Facebook personal. Hello, handsome general. Here I am, Montana Mama. I'm finally actually following you per your request. Okay, so Brittany Armstrong, Montana Mama. Jack can just go now. I know Jack Armstrong been part of the program. I know he's your husband, but tell him to go in the kitchen, do the dishes or something. Take the trash out. We don't need him here. You and I can just have a conversation. No, listen, this is something you don't know. Montana Mama, I got something for you. Ready? Are you listening? I'm going to turn out the lights. Turn it down real low.
I'm not comfortable with this. Moving to the other side for now.
Just sit there and shut up for a minute. Nobody asked you.
Too close to you, man.
I'm not trying to.
They can't see.
I'm wooing women.
Yeah, all right.
This has nothing to do with you. God damn it. All right. Montana Mama. We have a thing around here called the harem. And you can be an online harem girl. Now, we used to sell harem shirts, Gen X Dad harem shirts. And we kind of quit selling them after I got to a certain level of my harem. It grew to a point. But now I kind of want more. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to let you know in the next few days, there's going to be a new designed harem girl shirt. You can proudly wear a shirt that says, I am part of the general's harem. Oh, yeah. And the women wear these out in public and like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a good conversation piece. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I have any gratification for having a harem. I don't believe in that sort of stuff. I think you should wear it just to promote Gen X Talks and promote Gen X Talks only. So just remember when you're thinking about me and you're deciding how much of that credit card you want to spend on a harem shirt, how many harem shirts you want, remember the sound of my voice and the intimate relationship we're having right now, just between you and me. Now, look, I got to get back to the show. There's other people involved here. They've all tuned out so we could have our conversation, but it's time to go back. All right. Fuck you. I got through that with a straight face, all of you. Now, nobody has anybody guessed? I don't see it in the sheets. Ted, Toby, Facebook Blue, have you been drinking already? I'm going to start right now. Look at nobody has guessed who the special guest is. I shouldn't use those two words. You can't guess and guess. Nobody has identified the special guest. So let's do this. We got to drink. We got to drink a few shots tonight between you and I. So your job is right over here. The drinks are right there. You got to pour us a couple shots. We'll drink together. We'll keep talking about stuff. And then we'll see where this ends up. I will give you clues. I will give you clues to who the special guest is. But have you had that? Have you drank that with me before? I'm not sure if we did. You know what you got to have? The Sun Valley Fox when we were up in Minden, Nevada. Pendleton.
I think didn't you have some of that?
I thought we did once, but I'll tell you what. That old boy breaks that stuff out, and it is so smooth. Dr. McDreamy, Sun Valley Fox, even the Queen took a little bit of that because it's so smooth. That Pendleton 1910, I'll tell you.
This is very thoughtful.
What's that?
The chaser.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? I'm a thoughtful guy. Just ask me, I'll tell you. All right, so I just got handed a drink. We'll wait for our special guest to get around there. You should
some chicken, have some sex, see where it goes.
It's take that with you so we can do it from over there. He just said, let's have some chicken. Let's taste some chicken, have some sex, and see where this goes. Boy, I really overstated what was going on around here if he came with that opinion. All right. Where was I? Mary Mistretta, member for 2 years. She had a guess. I'm not saying the guess yet. Michelle M. heard your voice. She had a guess also. Not going to say what it is. So I will drink this to you, my fine feathered friend, even though we are on the last year or 18 months of being neighbors.
Cheers.
We'll have one more year. We'll knock it out of the fucking park, my friend. Thanks.
We will. Cheers.
Not Pendleton, but good enough. All right. So let's see if we can turn on the camera and see if this even works. Look at that. Look at that. Right on cue. He's perfectly framed also. You couldn't make that any better. Anybody know who this is? He was formerly on staff until he was caught peeking in the women's bathroom through the vent taking pictures, and we had to let him go. But up until that point, he was a great staff member. Nowadays, that staff member would get rewarded with a trophy. But back then, we were a reputable institution, and we had to be careful what we did and said. No longer, though. Sammy Joe says, I wore my harem shirt to Six Flags. All right. Everybody is guessing. Chrissy Cat says low torque. Mary Mistretta said low torque. Michelle M said low torque. Sammy Joe says low torque. Well, I guess it's true. Low torque, welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Bottom of the Glass Nation.
Thank you for having me.
So I know you work in oil and gas.
I do.
Do they make you? Are you the guy out there with the pickaxe? Do you got to dig the holes?
The pickaxe.
You know, dig the hole for the gas, and
I think that's mining. But okay, yeah, but we mine for oil. I guess it's yeah. No, I don't. I'm not in the field anymore. I'm mostly doing consult, lab, and on-site inspections.
Well, make sure you talk really close to the microphone so people can hear you.
How's that? All right.
You got a little pussy of a voice anyway, so we really need you to be strong.
How's that? You like it? All right.
I like it, man.
Let's do it like this. Yeah.
You know what? You guys don't know this. He's a real fucking scientist. He's a real fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson engineer guy. You fucking told me your charts and graphs one time about all these chemical things and these readings, and then you got all excited. Like, in this right here, this means that we're passing. Everything's good because we don't have too many of these, and we got enough of those. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
Yeah, there might be some engineering, but not a scientist. It's totally different.
Okay, look.
Breed.
When you talk to a dumb mechanic, all you brainiacs are fucking rocket scientists. Every one of you. You could probably go and build a rocket way faster than I could. That's what qualifies. Just so you know.
Yeah. Well, I can't build a rocket, but I know where to buy one.
You can go fly one.
I'm at least that far ahead.
What was that when we were, even before we were kids, it was a little younger than us. What was that fucking guy who strapped himself to the rocket and was coming down towards Earth, that cowboy with the hat? He's like, yeehaw.
That was that movie.
Yeah, it was a movie. What was
Doctor Strange?
No, it wasn't Doctor Strange. That guy, not
Doctor Strange. That's Marvel.
Yeah. What was the guy?
Oh, shit.
Remember, he comes down on the rocket. He was like in the 50s or 60s. He's a cowboy. His cowboy boots are flying. He's fucking straddling the rocket like a big fucking penis, and he's heading down to Earth, waving his.
Yep.
What the fuck was that guy's name? Someone in the comments.
Doctor No. God.
Someone in the comments.
It's an old black and white. Peter Sellers.
It is an old black and white. That's right. It was Slim Pickens, but
Slim Pickens. Yeah.
That's not the character's name.
No, I know.
Oh, what was that? He called us nerds. Yeah, I got Slim Pickens. Graham Gordon said Strangelove.
Okay, that's where I got the Strange.
Is that right? Does that sound right?
Dr. Strangelove.
Is that what that was?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Trippy's putting in Strangelove too in there. Jennifer Young on YouTube. Will you tell us what your mom and dad did for a living in LA while you were growing up? It gives me insight to the time and the period. Pretty please. Well, actually, my Jennifer Young on YouTube. I was born on December 25th in the year of our Lord, 1967, at a hospital that no longer exists. And the reason that's true story. The Van Nuys Hospital no longer exists. And the rumor, as I grew up, was the reason they tore it down is once I was born in that hospital, the administrator says, well, we can't do any better than this. This was it. We have our crowning achievement, our crowning birth. We might as well tear the fucking place down. And so I was the last birth in that hospital, and they tore it down, a little monument to me next to what's there now, which I believe is still an Arby's. Not sure how that makes any sense. But my mother, God, that was so good. That hit me. That hit me good. You're going to have to give me another one of those, my mother.
Yeah, I haven't had dinner yet. Hit me too.
Good, because that's the goal here, is to get you drunk and take advantage of you. As you know, as you might have noticed.
I didn't bring any chicken.
What the fuck is with the chicken?
That's Anchorman.
Oh, I didn't see Anchorman. I'm a Will Ferrell fan, but I just didn't see that one. I thought you were doing a Queen thing at the end. Give me fried chicken. All right, where was I? Yeah,
the great Dave Kettner.
Yeah, all right. Let's drink this first so we can stay getting fucked up. To you,
Cheers.
my friend.
To you.
All right. My mother put herself through beautician school. This is where you're going to find this funny. I was born 1967 in the San Fernando Valley. Your queen, my wife, was born June of 1968 in the San Fernando Valley, very close to each other. And my mother, before she got her beautician's license, worked at a place called Peggy's. I can't remember what street it was on. I want to say Lancashire. And she worked there for years and years for Peggy, and they had like 4 chairs of doing women's hair. And my mother-in-law, way before she was my mother-in-law, used to go to Peggy's all during that same time and get her hair done, but not by my mother. She sat in one of the other chairs, her regular girl. You women, you go to your regular girl. So for all those years, when my mother and my wife's mother finally talked, they're like, well, I was there, but well, Janice cut my hair. And my mom would say, well, Janice was the chair right behind me. So they crossed paths like that. My family worked at a place called Roscoe Hardware. They ran the plumbing department and some other departments for years, like 20 or 30 years, little hardware store called Roscoe Hardware on Sunland. And my wife's dad used to go in there all the time and knew all the people. So our families knew each other quite a bit growing up. All right, won't go back. There's more on that, but we'll get to that later. You didn't ask, so I'm not saying. But my mother became a licensed cosmetologist, and on Tahunga, she opened up Lexia's Beauty Lounge. Yeah, I was there for a long time. And then my dad and her got married. He was my stepdad. He was the dad who raised me. And he was working for a company called Swanson Electric down in L.A., big electrical contractor. He moved to Morro Meadows and stayed with them for 25 years. But my dad would jump over the hill and work down south of L.A. My mother finally quit to raise me at home with my 2 younger brothers, so she quit doing that, which killed her, she says, because she was making a grip of cash. She even said, I was making so much money having my own beauty store. She goes, we're doing everything. And she goes, I had to shut it down to come home, got married, raised to get 2 more kids and you. And so that was what my life was like growing up. I went to private school. My wife and I went to the same private school from kindergarten to 12th grade. I got kicked out twice. Total bullshit. Not my fault. Not even close. So my wife and I have known each other since we were 5 years old. Our families have been interconnected in the same community, crossing paths for years and years and years, even before we were born. And then my mother was a hairstylist. She still did it at home. She kept a little bit of her gear, and she had a room in the house, and some of her regulars would still come over. My dad was a general contractor with Morro Meadows doing big government projects. And for those of you that travel down the 134, the 101, you see that big white building with all the green the green windows in it that used to be the Disney building. My dad built that. It's one of the buildings he built. And I like to tell that story because my dad was a great man. Still is a great man, but he was back then too. So yeah, that's where Jennifer, I hope that answers your question. But growing up in the suburbs, it was a San Fernando Valley was like all the movies you saw. They filmed Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I could tell you almost every place, every scene where it was. I've been there because it was just where we used to hang out and schools we used to go to. So the Sherman Oaks Galleria is no longer there, but that was a big place too. I hope that answers your questions. It was a lot of fun growing up in the 80s in the suburbs of LA. Christopher W. Harvey, Facebook Blue. Hey, gentlemen, do you like rye whiskey or strictly bourbon? I like both. What are we drinking now? Low Torque, what is that? Is that a rye?
Tonight's selection is Garrison Brothers Boot Flask, Texas Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 47%, bourbon, 94 proof.
I think the Pendleton is a rye. The Sun Valley Fox, my brother.
Oh, I get it. Born and bred in rye.
Humor has not escaped you, my brother friend.
That's good.
So, so I prefer both. I don't prefer either one. Oh, there it is. Chuck Akers came up with the right answer. Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh.
Wait. It's not Strangelove.
No, it was Dr. Strangelove, the black and white one.
Buckaroo Banzai when he comes.
That was an 80s movie.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm pretty sure. Well, not to be.
You know what word I'm going to put you right now?
Not to be adversarial, but
you're being contrary.
Yeah, I don't want to be contrary.
You're being very contrary right now. No. It's not a good look for you.
No, I'm not a natural contrarian.
All right, I'm turning off Low Torque, going to something else. Like I told you, we had some stuff to get to here. Da-doom, 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 da-doom. He can argue with me on da-doom, da-doom. Yeah, okay, here's one I didn't understand. And I didn't understand the rule. This happens a lot in California. Now, I know Low Torque works a lot over on the coast with the oil and gas things. He's always traveling out there. This is a story that comes up all the time, and it just hit the headlines about a week ago. This woman who's really rich, so we're talking about a really rich Karen, she doesn't like it. Her house sits on the beach, and she believes she owns out into the ocean about 12 feet deep in water is what she says she bought. And she doesn't like people going up and down the beach. Well, there are private beaches in California, not many. And this woman went out where people were just walking, and she was chasing them away with a broom. And then she put out rope and stakes all the way to the water so people couldn't walk by, which they did anyway. So she called the cops. This became a fiasco. Now, this scene that I'm describing happens all the time in California. Rich assholes who have more money than God, they buy land on the water, and they think they don't want any of us peasants obstructing their perfect view of the ocean. We're not allowed to walk by. No. And God forbid your 3-year-old carries a big red ball with them, then they're really pissed because now you've distracted them from the perfect sunset. And this happens more often than you think, but this was a big story. So here's what I didn't know. I learned something new. Can you believe that? I've been 56 laps around the sun, and I learned something new. And Low Torque, I don't even think you know this. And you're a pretty smart guy. You're one of the smartest guys I know.
Give it a guess.
Where do you think their property ends when they buy beachfront property? Where do you think that ends? Like, how far from their back porch do they own? 6 feet? Do they own none of it? If it's sand, it's county. Do they own into the water? Where would you guess?
If I had to guess, I would say to the water line, but there's a public easement. The beach is a public easement that people can traverse past. That'd be my guess.
You're very close to being 100% correct.
Like the average water line.
Being absolutely right. And let me tell you why. What I learned from this, because I don't give a shit about the woman or her house or all of the people doing all this, I didn't care. But I did care about the answer I learned. There is a rule of thumb on beachfront property. Now, there can be designations if it's in your contract, but basically if you just buy, and you get like 15 feet from your house and whatever it is to the water, you got it. Mm-hmm. There's a rule of thumb that a property owner owns to the water during high tide.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say average tide, but who knows what that
high
is.
Tide, because only at high tide, but then anytime lower than that, there is a public easement. You can walk. And sometimes tides can be 20 feet difference, in coming up the shore.
Sure.
So that's quite a difference. Now, since we're on the topic of rule of thumb, and you're one of the smartest guys I know, what does rule of thumb even mean?
You can't hit your wife with a switch, widen your thumb.
Wow.
That's all I know.
You said
that's what I heard. Somebody told me that.
I think you listened to me on that
I think you told me that one, yeah.
Rule of thumb was back in the day when you could hit your wife and correct her and beat her or whatever you want to call it. Those fucking idiots did. You take it to court. If you hit her too much, they'd say you can't strike. The rule of thumb was you can't strike your wife with an object wider than your thumb. Yeah, that's what I heard the whole rule of thumb came from. So I've gone out to my yard and piece of iron that I got and sticks off of trees.
Yeah,
I've lined those up in my house, leaning up against the wall. None of them are wider than my thumb.
No mention of the material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when my wife gets out of line, I'm following, tradition of the rule of thumb. Of course, you've seen my wife. She'll knock the shit out of me. She's strong. She's athletic. She'll fuck a dude up. She'll ball up in a fit. She'll break a nail.
She'll take you out.
Yeah. You're thinking twice.
No doubt.
All right, someone's got to hit me again because it's not like it's starting to wear off, but it's starting to wear off. And don't make me drink alone, goddammit, you redneck hillbilly. So yeah, Low Torque's over here drinking with me, discussing rule of thumb. We have to learn what the rules are to beat our wives correctly, and we can talk about that because neither one of them are here. If either one of them were in the room, we wouldn't be saying shit, not even a little bit right now. We know better. We are what you call well-trained. My man. All right, you got to show everybody your glass. Make sure you didn't wuss out. Whoa!
Well, we're running low.
Hold the fuck up.
God damn it.
You poured there's a drop in yours.
But I didn't eat dinner.
There's a drop in yours.
It's a half.
You are such a puss.
All right.
Where do you like to live when you drink? Come on, tell everybody. Where do you like to live?
Where do I like to live?
Emotionally. You're not near the microphone either.
Oh.
Where do you emotionally live when we drink together? You lectured Briggs about this. Like
Bomber's Peak. Okay, Jesus Christ.
Now,
you got me.
Before we go any further,
we have to do it.
What is Bomber's Peak? Because there's a lot of people that don't know that drinking term.
Bomber's Peak is when essentially when you've had just enough to drink where you are more competent than usual, but you're not sloppy yet. Bomber's Peak is a very short-lived place. You get too high, you fall off the peak. You don't quite get there. You need to drink more, but it's a very fragile place, and it's named after Steve Ballmer, who used to be the CEO of Microsoft, and he claimed that some of his people's best work was done when they were at that peak. So,
Bomber's
like, you
Peak.
play pool better if you've had a couple beers,
Sure.
right? Yeah.
I like how your first opening sentence is your competency is at its, is at its best.
Peak competency, yes.
Peak competency. All right.
So we're heading to
Bomber's
peak
Peak
competency
right now.
All right.
Drink up.
Cheers.
Bomber's Peak it is, everybody.
That's how I beat your son bowling.
Notice my chaser is still closed.
Yeah. No, you're.
No, real man over here.
I don't. You remember my rule, right? I don't drink dark fluids. So I mean dark alcohol.
You're drinking it.
I drink tequila. I drink vodka. I don't drink.
Oh, have I got
whiskey?
something for you?
You're the fact that I'm drinking whiskey, and the reason I put so little in is I just don't drink dark liquor.
We'll chase that real quick, you big fucking baby. Get your training wheels on. Grab that bottle right there. I got this as a potential sponsor. You might like that. I didn't get him. The kid got that. They're entertaining, talking to us about that. I haven't opened it yet, but Good Boy Vodka has been talking about some stuff, and there's a chance that we may get to hang out with them and do some stuff with them.
Today's program not brought to you by Good Boy Vodka.
Not sponsored by Good Boy Vodka. All right, let me go back to what I was talking about. I had some stuff to get to. So we talked about da-doom, and the psycho ladies here. There's something I want to show you that's really funny, and it's funny in two ways. Ready? Here it is. Can you read that? Ford vehicles names are more fun when you put the word anal in front of them. See that picture right there? Anal probe, anal explorer.
Oh God.
Anal, low torque.
This is one of the best ones. Yeah.
Anal excursion, anal endeavor, and anal ranger. We need to have a category of rank where someone is the anal ranger. Now, why that's funny in two ways? It's funny because it's Ford products. Explains a lot about you boys over there working at Ford. But it's also funny because my wife sent me that the other day. She sent that to me in an instant message. She goes, "Here you go." All right. Okay. Now, again, it is so fortuitous that you stopped by. Because I want to ask you, this is a trivia question from the 80s with movies that I personally have never been able to answer.
All right.
Now, I don't know if you've had enough to drink to access that part of your cognitive reasoning or not, but I'm going to give it a shot, okay? This movie, do you know what movie this is on the screen right there? You see that? That is Demolition Man.
Oh, it's delayed.
Demolition Man.
Okay,
with
all right.
Sylvester Stallone. Now, the question from this movie that I've never been able to answer. Ready? What were the 3 seashells for in the bathroom? They referenced it several times, and he's from the past. He's now in the future, and he's like, what the fuck do I do with the 3 seashells when I'm going to the bathroom? And no one would answer him.
Yeah.
Through the whole movie. And they show pictures of it right there. There's 3 shells. Now, I'm almost tempted to put 3 shells in my bathroom just to see if someone knows how to use them, because I don't. Do you have any idea what the 3 shells would be for?
No, this sounds like a why did Thor cry kind of question. So I don't know. I saw the movie about twice, and I remember that being a thing, but I never found out.
Turn your mic towards where you're sitting.
Oh, do you know? Oh.
Turn the mic towards you. Just
all right.
spin it. Pivot it.
Pivot.
Hey, look at that.
All right, all right. Is that better?
Yeah.
All
So
right.
You really
I honestly don't know. Yeah.
3 shells. It's in the movie quite a bit. They referenced it. I didn't know what they were for. I mean, what is the point of having a super smart friend if you can't fucking answer one of my questions?
Hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I completed 2 out of 3 of your fetch quests for answers. Yeah.
All right. If that's the way you want to play it, I'll go along with that.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So here's something that you can agree or disagree with. This came across my feed. Old people moving beyond. Okay. They consider me an old person. It says this topic was Generation X, and they had like 25 things that we don't give a shit about anymore. To which I quoted Slim Sherry when I said, we don't give a shit about anything ever. We never did give a shit. So I was quoting Sherry on that one. And yes, I know who Slim Sherry is. Yes, we've talked on the phone. Yes, she has my number. No, she never returns my calls. All right, that's not important. All right. One thing that we're beyond, that we're over, you can agree or disagree. Gadgets. You see what it says right there? I don't want to keep up with what's new anymore. This is one thing that they said Generation X is over. I got to tell you, I don't give a shit anymore. I know when my kids are going, Dad, the new PlayStation's out, the new Xbox is out, the new iPod is out, the new phone is out, there's a Razr phone, there's a flip phone, there's this. I got it. And everybody's like, new. And my wife played into that a little bit too. I don't give a shit. Low torque, do you have to have things that are new and interesting like that, or do you just go for something that's functional and works?
I like new stuff as long as I don't have to read the directions. If I can figure it out intuitively, then then you're in. Hits it out of the park for me. Yeah, I love it.
Really?
But yeah, I like gadgets. If they make my life easier, if they're wireless, if they have a rechargeable battery, I'm kind of in. Yeah, I like that shit.
Bluetooth guy, man.
You look
everything on the packaging.
Yeah.
Does my condom come with Bluetooth? I don't know.
Oh.
All right, so that was one. Do you guys agree with that? Let me go over here between the sheets. Hang on a second.
Exceeding material strength.
Let me jump through here. It's a Facebook personal. Michael Callahan, take 2 shots back to back, please. 500 stars sent. Dude, not for, if someone put in, okay, you realize I've been drinking. If somebody put in, like in Facebook stars or in YouTube, you guys put something in there, maybe like $50, I would take 2 shots. I've already been drinking. I haven't had a ton to eat today, but you'd have to, I got a place for that $50 to go, but Singapore hooker. Yeah, I will have her over here before the end of the show, but for 500 stars, man, Michael, I can't destroy myself publicly in front of Dr. McDreamy for $5. I want to. I love you, man. Thanks for thinking of me. Johnny Brister, Facebook, Blue, for a mechanic, you have a great vocabulary. Well, thank you for that. That's for hanging out with smart people. I hang out with Iceman from Bodfish. I hang out with Low Torque, and my IQ goes up. Graham Gordon, $2. Low Torque, can you move my house from Alberta to Reno?
No. I'm not that kind of engineer. I'm the kind that they call me when I get to play one at work. But
wait,
yeah.
But maybe they think you're a whoop whoop
no, engineer. No, oil field engineer, different.
Okay, hold on,
different beast altogether.
You know why he asked you that? This is an ongoing argument, as I'm sure you're aware. Can we move the studio?
Oh, I already told you no.
Yeah, I know you
yeah.
did. Every time I talk about
There's too many competing material elasticities and all that. I'm just making up shit, but yeah.
No fucking way.
You're not going to do it. Yeah.
I bring up your opinion as an engineer, as a rocket scientist, whenever the argument begins. Listen to my thing.
Yeah.
Loud One's going to bring a semi down the cul-de-sac.
Oh, you said you're going to put it on that damn trailer out there.
I've changed
the junk
mind.
trailer. Okay. Well, You've changed the equation. It's like
I've moved the goalpost.
Yeah. We're not doing. Okay.
I'm going to have a crane strap this thing and lift it up over the 2-story house, set it on Loud One's trailer with his semi, and we're going to use torque strap from Grant, and we're going to strap that thing down.
Yeah.
And on inside the walls, I'm going to put those. What are those stretchy rods where you twist them and they push open? You know, are
you talking about load locks, like for the inside of a semi?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that in here, and then we're going to strap this motherfucker down, and we're going to drive it all the way to Nevada. Now is it going to work?
That has potential. No, I like
really the outside walls because there's a 6-inch air gap.
No, I like that idea. There is a gap in that, but the space between the gaps, because I remember doing some of that.
Yeah,
you've got room to move. Yeah, so yeah, with that kind of plan, you might be able to get it done.
You see that, ladies and gentlemen?
You've changed.
A dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert has shifted, has changed. The needle is now moving to we can do this. We can move it.
But I'm just a smell test guy. Like when you first told me that it's going to go on that junk trailer, I'm like, fuck no. That's all I know. Now that you're talking, you've got all these other ways of bracing it and protecting it. Then it's out of, now it's over my head. It's out of my room.
Stands shoulder to shoulder with you.
Who dat?
The Queen.
Oh.
She says, Low Torque's right. First of all, how wide's your fucking deal? I goes, 12 feet. She goes, well, that's how wide a lane is, asshole.
Yeah.
A lane is 12 feet. I went, well, she goes, no, you're done right there. You're not fucking doing it. And then Loud One came in and says, we got to be 104 inches or you can do this. So she's right with you going, the answer's still no. Low Torque's right. I'm right. That's it.
The thing is, you don't want focal points of stress. You don't want to create stress risers in any of the steel components or any of the, or anything actually that has a low elasticity compared to other components that are more bendy. Those will be okay, but the things, if you're concentrating a bunch of force over a small area, you create fatigue and you can cause a failure.
I understood bendy and some
bendy. If you try to bend things that aren't bendy, imagine trying to bend a Dorito.
Oh yeah, water. I could get it wet with water.
Exactly.
I will soak the studio in the pool.
I'm not very eloquent right now. I've been drinking on an empty stomach, so we should have another shot.
We should. Hey, yeah.
All right.
Well, you just fucking opened up the
I'm gonna try it.
You just fucking opened up the
you
know
goose.
what? We are now
the Good Boy vodka.
Unsponsored.
Yeah.
No, that's why they gave it to us. They gave it. You know what else they gave Low Torque? They gave us seltzers, vodka seltzers. They make.
That'll be my chaser for the vodka.
And guess what else too? Do you know who John Daly, the golfer, is?
I do.
He's their spokesman. We may get to run into him doing some stuff if we're lucky enough to get signed on with them. You believe that? How cool would that be? That'd be something you got to come do if we put up a booth down at a golf course.
I'd be there in a sec.
You got to show up for that.
I would.
All right, so let's go back to he's now kiped our dubage. He's no longer drinking the brown liquid. He's switching. I'm not sure. Now that makes you more of a man.
Drinking,
just so you know.
I'm drinking. I know. I'm going to be sick. I've already decided.
You already decided it's worth it?
No,
oh, man.
I didn't say it was worth it. I just decided I'll be sick. Okay.
I said it's worth it. You're on the show. Shut up, man.
Okay.
You got to lie with me.
Yes.
What good's it being friends if you're not going to blindly support every lie I say?
At least while the cameras are on. Cheers.
Cheers. All right. How good is that?
It's good.
I remember they're watching.
It's good. Did I make a weird face?
No, you were contemplative.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay, so see, now we're on the track.
Yeah.
That's good news. That's really good news because I'm not. They always ask, well, how'd you like it? I'm like, that's not my thing, man. All right, let's go back to what we're saying. Let me get through the sheets here real quick. Hydrate. Kelly Pookster, Facebook Blue. He needs a General's Harem shirt now.
Oh, Pookie.
Pookster said you need a harem shirt.
Wait, Kelly
Pookster.
You're female, right? Because I just called you Pookie.
You call her Pookie like you know her.
No, I don't.
Like you guys are friends. Yogi Belcourt, Facebook personal. Pour another one. I'm getting thirsty. I'm trying to. Mark Sanqui, Facebook personal. Reference to Japanese smart toilets. Oh.
The shells?
Could it be?
I don't know. There's another one coming up. I see the sheets.
Kristen Hartman, member for 6 months. I Googled it, and Stallone said in an interview that 2 of the she shells are held like chopsticks and pull scrape with the third.
I don't need to know that. That's terrible.
Boy, you got to have some talent for that shit. Michael Areliano. Why can't you guys have fucking regular names, man? I'm just asking. Regular names. Michael Arielanis in Facebook personal. I would support it with 2x4s and screws. They move 16 feet wide mobile homes. It can be done. Yeah, but I'm only going to put red flags on it. I'm just going to tie some no permits, no nothing. We're just going to fucking Smoking the Bandit this shit and haul ass until we get across the Nevada line. That's how we're doing this. So can we do it? Should we do it? How far can we get before we get pulled over? Look, I did see Smoking the Bandit 100 times. I got this.
How many load locks can you afford?
How many dummies are going to take? I will find them. I will make them somewhere. All right.
This thing will look like a Catherine Zeta-Jones puzzle when you're done.
Oh, all right. So, you find anything there in the gadgets? And let me go back and make sure I got Between the Sheets and Jack Armstrong. Are you going to have the height and clearance to make it over your house? Am I going to have the height and clearance? Yeah. I've lifted things with cranes over my 2-story house before. Ask my wife. She was amazed when I did. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "We can't get this structure in the backyard." I hired a crane to lift it over. She goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" She went across the street with a baby stroller and sat on the neighbor's lawn across and took pictures while I did this. I mean, the full-blown crane that's as big as a motorhome or heavier and went up over a 2-story house. True story. I know they can do it. We've done it. All right. Jeremy Gonzalez, Facebook Blue. Do you agree that marijuana helps you be more creative? I don't know. I don't smoke weed. I don't care if you do. It's just not my thing. So I can't answer that question. All right. Where was I? I had pictures to get to, man. You guys are fucking my whole day up here.
Before you get into that, I'm reading y'all's messages. Thanks for shouting me out. I can't really respond because it's awkward on my phone. But thanks for saying hi, and you guys are saying some funny shit. Appreciate it. Okay. I noticed you. That's all I want to say.
This is not the Low Torque Show.
Yeah. That's my only moment.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah. I can leave. I'm done.
I swear to Christ, if you start stealing my thunder, we're going to have problems.
Yeah, I'm a lightning rod. It just grounds. It just goes to ground.
Don't all lightning rods.
I'm a vacuum. Yeah, I'm an energy vacuum.
You're acting like that's something. No, look, man, I'm a lightning rod that just goes to ground. They all go to ground. Even a dumb mechanic knows that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty boring. I'm just playing with this thumbtack while you talk. And hey, it reminds me. An old timer once told me. I was at the college bookstore when I was young and in college, and this old timer came up behind me, and we were looking at stuff, and there was a little thing hanging down with thumbtacks in it. I thought I'll get that from my cork board, another material you can't really bend. And anyway, he said, hey kid, you know the thing about thumbtacks? I said, oh yeah, hey, yeah, what about them? He goes, you can buy them cheaper than you can make them. It stayed with me ever since. There's some things that are just
buy them cheaper than you can make them.
That was his advice. I never forgot.
There's a lot of shit like that.
I know, but you don't think about it. You just use it. But there's a lot of shit that you just take for granted. That, man, if I had to make a thumbtack, where would I start?
You'd make
carve a piece of nail.
Yeah, you'd have
a tiny nail
and burn it, melt it into.
Yeah, and I have to hammer it out, hammer a little flange out of the top. I mean, man. Think about it.
You also aged yourself. You may look like you're 30, but you're not. You just aged yourself. They're not.
I'm the same age as you.
They're not called cork boards anymore.
I know. It's a whiteboard.
Bulletin boards.
Oh.
Bulletin boards. And I don't think they even use bulletin boards.
Because of all of the bulletins?
No more bulletins. I think bulletins are gone.
There's no bulletins.
All right. SJ says, it's a low torque show. No, it's not. Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. Let's get back to things that Generation X doesn't use anymore. Can we do that? All right, where was it? Here's one that I totally agree with that they put on their list. I have no idea what the current music is. I don't know. Growing up from probably 7th grade to like senior in high school, I could tell you the top 40 every week. Top 40 hits, I could tell you the whole thing. And then I could tell you a bunch of records that should be and weren't on the top 40. Now I probably couldn't name one artist who has a record out in the last 5 years. I have no fucking clue, nor do I want to. This is the one we're talking about, Generation X, moving on, letting it go, not caring. Well, that's me. I'm firmly in that camp of I don't give a shit anymore. But don't worry, if you have an irritating son like mine, he runs up all the time. Dad, you gotta fucking listen to this. Dad, this is funny. No, Dad. There's these two guys, and they're putting out albums, and they're both getting after each other. I don't know the terminology he uses, but like this guy is saying shit on his record, so this guy says shit on his record, so this guy puts out another song and says shit about him, and they go back and forth. And I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Is that all you got? Yeah, I'm just waiting for the next thing to come. And apparently there was 3. There was some love triangle going on here. There 2 were really going at it, but there was some third dude who kind of got involved, but pretended he was superior to the other ones. I don't fucking know. I have now told you the entire depth of knowledge I have on the subject. This is a thing on here, number 17 on their list, that they don't know fucking songs. I got to agree with that. I got to 100% agree. I couldn't even tell you what's on and don't give a fucking shit. Feels good to say that, doesn't it? All right. So there's another one here. Yeah, this was number 1 on their list. Was not number 1 on mine. Now, I think that low torque, I think you fit in this category, along with me.
Category?
Years ago.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
Years ago, we would plan a trip and you budget it out.
Yep.
I'm going to stay at the Motel 6 for $21.99, and I can get 3 meals at McDonald's for this much, and then you can budget your trip by where you're staying because it was based on how much money you had and how far you could go. I don't do that as much anymore. I got to have some comforts. I got to have a better bed than a Motel 6. I do. There's some things I go a little bit less on the money. No, I'm not trying to stay at 5-star places all the time. No, I'm not saying that. But I guarantee if it's between money and comfort, I'm always thinking of the comfort first if I can. Always, every time. And my wife, when we pull up, she says we're roughing it. We pull up at a hotel. She goes, this is where we're staying tonight? This is the room you booked? I go, yeah. She goes, well, we're roughing it. This is just like fucking camping. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? There's a lobby with a fountain and she goes, there's no room service here.
Glamping. Yeah.
That's her cutoff. Is if there's no room service, how did we end up in the sticks? That's her cutoff there. How do you feel about that moving around? If you take off with your wife and do stuff, first of all, does she just plan everything and you just go along?
I plan it, but if there's not going to be, and there's never room service except for I'm the room service. So we stay at a hotel. If they have a breakfast, I go down, I get the stuff, I bring it back up. I go down, I bring plates and napkins and drinks and coffee. I go down, I get the silver. Everyone's done eating and they're ready for seconds. I go down, I get the more stuff, and I come back, and then I finally eat, and everybody's ready to go. And I was like, I need to eat.
So like, in your scenario, you're the motherfucker that gets sent out at 2 a.m. to get ice from the ice machine in the hallway.
I will do that. Yes.
You are that guy?
Yes, but it's a small compromise. We each do our duty so that we can be the best us that we are, and then we ask the same in return, don't we?
Well, do you think she's actually listening to this? Are you spewing this bullshit?
I hope she's not listening.
Because she's listening to this?
I hope she's not, because she's like, bullshit. You didn't go down and get 3 coffees, like I said. You only got 2.
I look over and all the bullshit coming out of your mouth. I'm like, you do know I'm the only one here, right?
No.
Your wife is not sitting here.
This is a public broadcast, so I'm going to say all the right shit until I drink more. Yeah.
Well, I'll drink one right now. Give me one.
I'll drink to that.
Come on now. Give me a little something. My wife is actually pretty good about that shit, but we do have standards of things that we try to shoot for when we can afford it. That's one of them, is we try to have, room service. And my fat ass, I used to never valet. Did I tell you my favorite valet story ever? I got one.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, so
I don't know that one.
Let's drink right now. Wait for you to pour yours. You pour yours. I'll pour mine. You drink yours. I'll drink mine. Keep it that way. We're not circling hands. You're not Grant. You can't exchange drinks with me.
Nope. You know what I'm going to do, because my stomach's feeling a little hot?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pour a little Gatorade in this.
You're pouring Gatorade
just
in
a little
vodka?
bit. Just a little bit.
How the fuck? How would you?
Because I'll die. Because I'll end up with about 8 hours of heartburn if I don't start being careful.
But it's going to be worth it because we're drinking.
Oh yeah, I won't feel it for a while. Well, I'll definitely feel it.
All right. Here's the valet story.
Cheers, everybody.
So, I typically my whole life I never paid for valet. Fuck that. I'll park and I'll walk. As I got older and fatter, it's like fuck that. Here's $5. Go park my truck. However, I did learn that you don't get cars stolen in valet. Not nearly. I mean, you got 1 or 2 a year versus 30 or 40 a year in regular parking when you're at a casino hotel. So there's that. But I was in line. I don't even know what the fuck. I hate going to the Vegas Strip.
Yeah.
I lived in Vegas and never go to the Strip. My wife and I ended up at Paris, and we're in this long line. And I go, I'm just going to valet. I'm going to go inside. She goes, all right, let's just valet. This guy walks up and I said, hey man, you guys are fucking busy tonight. I think, we were going to go see a concert, I think there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know how the conversation came up with the guy, but I said, well, I tip you guys on my way out. He goes, you can tip us on the way in. And I said, why would I ever tip a valet? You're taking my car, you're not bringing it back. He goes, because we watch it better. I said, is that true? He goes, yeah, it's absolutely less money on their way in. And some of these guys, I will park their cars and not park cars next to it at all. And they know that. Yeah. And they'll pay for that. I said, well, I'm driving a 2008 GMC Yukon. So, and this is like in 2017 or something. It's almost 10 years old. And I said, but I'll take care of you. So I gave him $5. So my wife and I go do our thing. We're drinking and I don't gamble, so I can't say we're drinking and gambling. We're fucking around. I don't gamble. But we're drinking and we're playing around. Come out, and I go to the valet, and at the Paris, most of the cars are not anywhere near where you can see at all, as with most valets. However, there's a row of like 18 cars right there at the fence facing us, and it's like a Ferrari, and it's this Porsche, and it's this McLaren is there. I mean, these hugely expensive rare cars. And my 2008 Yukon, and then another Ferrari, and I'm like, oh my god! And there, we got a picture of it. I said, look at that! They got all these every car there was more than I make in a year, and the Yukon was backed in, proud as she could be, just sitting there right there, going, fuck yeah, this is my spot. all because I gave that guy $5. When I came out, he goes, see, I told you. I said, would you have done that? He goes, you give me the money, man. This is my section right here, and I'll put your fucking thing there. I don't care what you're driving. He goes, I don't give a shit. He goes, you give me a couple bucks, man, I'll watch your shit like a hawk. I never knew that about taking care of guys on the way in and what they do with that. And, if they've been in the trade for a while. But that was one of the funniest things in my life is that, people around me are waiting for their cars, and I'm standing in the same line as them. And he comes and pulls up my Yukon. I'm like, hey, man, catch you later. He thought I was a high roller up until I climbed in my 2008 Yukon XL.
Did you have imposter syndrome? Like you were in a lineup with a bunch of porn stars?
Yeah.
Cocks out. Yeah.
You do feel that way a little bit. You get that. You get that imposter syndrome where you shouldn't be there. But that's a true story. It's a true story anyway. So that was one of the funnier ones that I've ever been through with valet. I don't really have any valet stories. I guess that was one of them. So budget travel. That's what we were talking about. We're talking about budget travel. I think did we finish the topic? We did finish. We finished talking about budget.
We started. You asked my opinion. I gave you an answer, but I think you had more to say.
No.
Okay. All right.
I think we're fun with doing. Okay.
I don't want to leave anything on the table.
Now this one's going to affect you more than me. This is in the topic, the top 25 things that Generation X is done with. We're through with it. We're over it. We're beyond it. And it is career advancement. It says number 12, career advancement. I've peaked. I don't want or need anything else. In fact, I want less. I did that. In about 2017, I was like, what the fuck, man? I'm done. And let me back up. I haven't peaked as a mechanic. There are mechanics way, way better, more talented, remember everything. There was a time in my life, there was probably a 4-year window in my field and at the dealership level where I was at. I was absolutely top of my game because they'd have competitions of the whole Southwest region in Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, all the dealerships in California. And no matter what dealership I was working at, we placed first or second every time they had those competitions because I was fucking really talented. Not so much. I fell off, went to different dealerships, did other things, worked at independence. You kind of lose your edge on that stuff. But there was a time when career advancement or going head to head with somebody was important, and I wanted to climb the ladder. About 2017, I'm with these guys. I just want less. I'll take less responsibility. I'll take less of all this shit. I don't need to be part of it anymore. How is that with you? Because you're still working, man. You still got people coming up alongside of you comparing themselves to you in your field.
When I first started, of course, I was, as we discussed earlier, I was out in the field a lot more. I was doing a lot more sweating and hammer swinging. And then, you work into a position, you gain goodwill with your coworkers, your colleagues, people notice you, they move you up. If everything goes right, that doesn't happen for everybody. But if the stars align and you work with good people, you get lucky. And then the rest of the luck you try to make yourself. So I get up there, and when I started, I was the young guy, and I was looking up to all these people, and they were the experts. And now that I'm older, many trips around the sun as you, now I'm kind of the guy that people come to sometimes, and I still ask a lot of questions from. There's even older people than me still working, but it's starting to turn that corner where I'm being asked the questions and I'm being consulted.
Advancing anymore though, or pay is one thing. You always want to get more money. That's different. Yeah. But do you care about like a newer position, a higher position where you're regional or something, or is that kind of like you're okay with where you're at?
Yeah, no. So the next stop for me is having direct reports, and I don't want to manage or babysit people. So I'm as far as I can go where I don't have to worry about that. So if I don't go into management, or I could move into an SME position, like a subject matter expert position. So that's kind of up and over. But I'm pretty happy with where I'm at, as long as I can increase my capability and keep up with, what's competitive in my industry. So
well, I wasn't fucking around when I said that you're smart. So I'm asking, do you still have to go to new training for new updates and new technology? Because you're in a field that's cutting edge in what they do. So there's got to be new stuff that comes out every so often.
Yeah, we have a lot of, I get training from other subject matter experts in our field who work for our company. And I also have opportunities at times to attend conferences or schools, but everybody's been backing off on that lately because they don't want to pay for the travel. So, but the remote thing, since COVID, it's been really dry. So hopefully that comes back.
Funny that I remember from you, I'm kind of throwing you under the bus, and if any of your bosses listening may step on your dick a little bit, but I remember we'd have staff meetings, and you would say,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tell everybody what you did so you could be able to attend a staff meeting while you were at work.
Yeah, I vanished into the supply closet. That's where I took my lunch.
And you stacked boxes.
Yeah, in front of the window.
In front of the window where they couldn't see into what you were
So
doing.
anybody passing by wouldn't like see me in there just hanging out.
Yeah, on the computer. Well, they figure you're watching porn, but no, not you.
Nope.
No, you were doing something important.
It was not that fun.
There you have it. Staff meetings at Gen X Talks. Not as fun as porn.
No.
From his lips to yours. All right, with that, I'm going to have another drink. Can't stop me now. And then we'll go on from there. All right, we got something else to talk about here. Let me read between the sheets what's going on. Facebook, personal, Michael Callahan, I forgot. Is that your new boyfriend or is it another guy? The queen gives you hell over that. Yeah. Okay, low torque is no Grant. All right? Low torque is no Grant. Don't talk about my friend Grant. The shoeless one, 22 months over on YouTube, has got his big red one, working on his big blue 2. Level KGXT Studios, the highest ranking member you can have there. Wasn't it big wooden jungle gym and a swing set? Which parts are now in the studio? Yeah, wow. We did that when we moved. How would you even know that? Shoeless one, that's going back in history for my family before Gen X Talks. It was a swing set. It was a big play set that you couldn't take apart. We lifted it up over the house, put it on a trailer, drug it down here, and we finally disassembled it when the kids moved out. And the last remaining part of that jungle gym, that play set, one thing remains, and it's that black handle right there. That was green. We painted it black on the inside of that door. That is the last part of the play set that used to sit right here. Before we tore it down, we saved that handle and we painted it, and that's it. So there is, wow, shoeless one. Well, how did you fucking remember that story? All right, Randy Loring he gave $100 on PayPal. Randy,
Woo.
You know why he did that? Remember the thing earlier? Take 2 shots in a row, and I ran my fucking mouth and I said that.
Yeah, you don't speak for me.
I don't speak for you. All right. Well, you at least got to do the first shot with me, and I'll have to do 2 because Randy put in a $100 bill. Hopefully nobody else.
Yeah, unless you're giving me $50.
I'll give you 50 out of it if you drink it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Here's a drink.
After PayPal fees.
Half your PayPal. I'll absorb the PayPal. All right, this is one.
All right.
All right, refill it. Refill mine. Holy shit. I hope they don't do that again.
Yeah, there's the thing nobody knows.
What does nobody know?
Nobody realizes that there's a time after this time, and there's a piper to pay.
Yeah, they don't have to, though. Randy just walks away with his $100 bill and goes, my $100 bill is done. He's fine. He ain't going to have no problems. We are. Make sure you have better height and clearance than a French pole vaulter. We got to be careful of that. Yeah, you're right. We got to. That was Graham Gordon over there, $5 over on YouTube, making sure that if we're going to start yanking stuff over the house, that you don't want your Johnson getting hung up on the railing, which is true. And to be fair, I've had my Johnson hung up on the railing on more than one occasion. So nice call there, Graham Gordon. All right, so this is for the other part of that $100. We're taking 2 right now.
Here's to you.
How close are you to Bomber's Peak? Because I'm getting there.
Oh, wait, I fell off the cliff already.
You already went over?
Like after I quit the dark liquor, I was already done. Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right, I had to open up the training wheels. The training wheel story, for those of you who don't know, this, my wife makes fun of me when I'm drinking alone, she didn't care. Didn't care. But when we're in public, we're around my friends or we're at a restaurant and I drink a shot and I chase it with a Coke, she goes, oh, did you get your chaser? Did you get your training wheels to go along with your drink because you're old? That's the thing she teases me about. How come she never busts your balls about that? Oh, you chase it with beer, though.
I just drink beer usually, yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't.
I'm not
had shots. You drink beer and then some passes around.
Yeah, every now and then I'll have a shot while I'm drinking beer.
She respects you because you chase a shot with a beer and I chase it with a soda. Fucking guys, I tell you, it's times like this when you get all upset at your woman because she embarrasses you in front of your friends. Y'all had that happen? You're married. You've had that happen before. This reminds me, when I'm thinking about those moments when I'm getting embarrassed by my chick, it reminds me of one of the greatest philosophers of the 20th century, Iceman from Bodfish, who looked at me across a crowded bar one night and said the immortal words, chicks, man. chicks. That one's for you. That one's free. You're welcome, America and Denmark. Ron Knight, $50 low general. I'm in and out. Just tons of OT. You know the mechanic life. Love you and mama. Take care of yourself, Ron. Ron Knight over on YouTube. Ron's been around a long time. Great contributor. We love Ron to death. He's been around a bunch. Puts in his time out there, puts in his time here. Just so you guys know, if you're looking for something to listen to in the background, perfect for a mechanic shop or a plumber who's got way too much plumber's ass in his crack, kgxtradio.com is commercial-free 80s music and 70s music. Yeah, kgxtradio.com. Just go click on it and click the link and play it. It's fucking badass. Josh Maddox is our station manager over there. He's one cool cat. He's the programming guy. His email's out and about. If you guys need to have a change, want something, have a question, talk to him. All right, let me make sure I got through this.
Love you, Josh.
What's that?
Love you, Josh.
Love and Josh, man. You know, that's a thing around here, too. Love Josh, fucking Trippy.
Love Trippy, too. I'm not going to lie.
You got to say fucking Trippy.
No, fucking Sammy.
Oh, fucking
just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I got to go along with that, too. Yeah. Hey, I want to show you. Oh, I don't know if I got it. I had something for you special.
Yeah.
I had something to show you that you...
Yeah, that's what you said. I didn't know it was going to be a microphone. Yeah.
And
he's like, come over. I want to show you something. I'm game. Okay, yeah. I'm down to see
you
something.
You got to drink a bunch once you get here.
Yeah,
still came. You still came over.
Yeah, you said a drink, and I'll show you something.
I can't find it. I don't think I put it in here.
I'll show you the text.
God damn it.
Not lying.
Do you remember one of the first Gen X Talks events you ever went to in person?
Yeah.
Which one?
It was the bowling event, the celebrity bowling.
The celebrity bowling event?
Yeah.
We had Dodgers and Lakers there.
I was at Balmer's Peak. I beat your son, and he always misrepresents that day, and he goes, oh, yeah, I won the event. I said, no, you didn't. I beat you.
Him.
Yeah.
Like you whooped his ass.
No, I have to remind him. And he honestly, it's a good faith forgetfulness. Like, it's just his ego is... Like, I must have won because it's me.
I will tell you what. I was speaking from knowing that kid his entire life.
Yeah.
He prides himself on bowling.
Yeah.
Not miniature golf, not tennis, not basketball. He loves basketball. But he prides himself on whooping adults, grown-ups' ass at bowling. But he didn't beat you.
No, Trippy can witness.
Trippy
was there.
That's all Trippy did was witness. Trippy was at that event. Remember, he slid all the way over in that chair and just kind of sat there at that bar we were all sitting at by himself.
He had a killer mustache.
He had a killer. Well, he looked
before the beard.
He looked a little bit like a guy who drove a white panelless Ford van looking for 12-year-olds. That's the appearance he gave off. He's much better now.
He had a killer 80s mustache.
He did not. He had a porn star. He had a homemade porn star mustache is what he had. Michael Callahan, Facebook personal, 20 stars sent. Thank you very much, my man. Anyway.
Yeah. What do you want to show me?
So, well, that's later. But this one I want to tell you about. So, the Los Angeles Angels, which is bullshit, it's the California Angels in my book.
Yep.
Logan Ohape is their hot shot catcher. He's fucking great. He's an all-star. And he's a great kid. And he wants to do a charity event for cancer. So we're doing the same thing at the same place.
Oh.
He's bringing all his buddies down from the California Angels, and we're going to take 3 or 4 hours. We're renting out that whole same bowling alley again, and we're getting him and his crew out there. Sponsors are coming in. It's going to be free food. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're setting up our canopy there. We're bringing in a bunch bigger than last time, and it's on October 5th. Now I don't know I don't have the picture up here, but good staff members, good moderators are already going to have that direct link. There's a direct link to that page. You got to buy a ticket and you got to go. If you use the promo code Gen X, you get $50 off your ticket and you get $50 credit in the silent auction. You can go in there and bid on something for $100 and you only got to pay $50.
If you have the link?
Buy the ticket.
If you buy the ticket, gotcha.
The link is on there. Just go buy the ticket. If you buy a ticket with the promo code Gen X, you get $50 off. And you get $50 credit towards the silent auction. And we're going to make sure anybody who actually is listening to the program, you guys show up there from here. I'll get you a signed baseball. I'll get you a signed picture. You can take a picture with Logan. Whatever you guys need, he'll do it. Whatever you guys want to do. You guys want some stuff like that, I'll make sure it happens. If you buy the ticket through Gen X Talks, it doesn't go to us. It goes to Evan Bright. This isn't an event for us to make money. This is for a charity. We're going down there with our time and our effort and our money to promote the charity. Your ticket money goes towards the charity. So I might have helped you out if you were still on staff, but you're not. So, right now you're on your fucking own. Get out your visa.
I was going to post the link, but I got T-Rex arms. I can't do it.
Anyway, it's down in Long Beach. It's down in Southern California, down in Long Beach, the Lakewood area. It's at Cow Bowl. It's October 5th. Start clearing your calendars if you want to roll out there for the day. David Black, been around a long time, used to come in for stuff like that from the coast, from Santa Maria, Santa Barbara area. Everybody who can drive down there, just drive down, spend a few hours with us. There's a lot of stuff to do, a lot of cool people. I'm bringing in some other people too. I'm not going to tell you who they are, but it should be a lot of fun. So just make sure if you got time to come down there, you can show up. And the tickets go towards pediatric cancer research. If you go to that webpage that the moderators put you to and go to the bottom, there's a reason that it's specifically for this charity and it affects this ball player. And he's very passionate about it. So if you guys want, we're actually interviewing him. Gen X Talks, there's a side room back there. There's a gifting room, as they call it. And we are actually going to interview Logan and his family without anybody around to try to get the background story on how they got to this point, not only just in his career, but with this Corey's Promise, which is the pediatric cancer thing. We want to understand the whole picture on that. So we're doing a one-on-one with those guys, the Corey, with the Logan and his family. So that'll be part of the Gen X Talks thing. You guys will get to hear that after we're done with it. You guys can hear the broadcast. We're going to record that for you while we're down there. But that's another reason to go. It's a big thing. All right, so I think I'm pretty much done with all my bullshit out there. I don't think I have any more bullshit to talk about. Bottom of Glass Nation show, we've gone a little bit long. We've gone an hour and a half tonight. Turned out pretty well.
I have a request.
You have a request, yes.
It's a story you haven't told in a long time. You had to fly to Phoenix. You hate flying. You had to fly to Phoenix to do a diagnostics test.
School, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good story because you game the system. You figured out how to game the system. You got to, if you can tell it really quickly.
A lot of shit for that. Well, are you more interested in what happened at the dealership or my flight back?
I want to know about what you did when you got there, and then how you hated the flying.
Okay, for that I'm going to have another drink.
All right,
you got to pour me up one more here.
One you haven't told in years.
I haven't told that one in years. That's true. This is back when I was living in Las Vegas and I was working in Las Vegas. And I was, at the time, a very hotshot Mazda technician, which also meant you were kind of a hotshot Ford technician. At the time, Ford and Mazda were very, very married on stuff. So they used to fly us to Phoenix. They had schools down there. Mazda had a campus down there where they would have training and seminars. Sometimes you fly down for the day. Sometimes you go for a week. But it was kind of a big deal. And, I told you I'd drink with that, and then I started telling the story without drinking. Now, what good is that?
You got to drink first.
I don't remember if I'm going to be able to lie correctly if I don't drink first. Then I can lie the same way I did last time. All right, raise your glass, everybody. Low Torque and I don't want to drink alone. We've drank alone before. We'll probably have to do it again. But when we have friends, why we drink alone? Come on now. Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, raise a glass right now. Circle the wagons. Just tell us you're your friends. Have a drink with us, even if it's just a glass of water. Lets us know you guys are there. Thank you guys very much. And the story will continue after this message.
Cheers.
All right. So they flew us down to Phoenix. There was a bunch of us. And turns out there was new model training. The new model car, and let me back up with the story a little bit. And Low Torque, your camera's going to be off, but your microphone will be on.
Gotcha.
You got something to say?
All
right.
I'm good.
So you guys know that Honda has an elite brand called Acura. It's just Honda. It's just a better Honda. It's a more expensive Honda. And Toyota has dealerships called Lexus. They're just expensive Toyotas, and they're all made by Toyota. And Nissan has Infiniti. Everybody's kind of got their upper brand. They got their staple stuff and the upper brand. And everybody was doing that. Everybody had a car line that was supposed to be above. You know, they had this, you had your staple, and then you had your nice, even Ford for years had Ford, and then there's Lincoln. And so that's a pretty common thing, and everybody knows about that. Not a big secret. But what the fuck is on my microphone? And then Mazda jumped in the game to do the same thing. And Mazda was the dealership, and they were going to have a Mati. Amati dealerships, which to me was Miata, spelled backwards, but what do I know? That's not true. I lied about that. But it was Amati. They had these cars ready to go. They had all this stuff. There was going to be Amati dealerships. People signed up to own an Amati dealership. There was going to be Amati cars, and they were going to be Mazda's upper line like Acura. And then it fell through. It didn't happen. They decided not to do it. They went through $2 billion, they said, of research on that and found out that no one was going to buy an Amati. So they kept the lowest line Amati car, and they made it the highest Mazda car. Now, the luxury Mazda car around that time was a 929. It was called a Mazda 929 back in the day, was their luxury car. It was a nice little car for an import. But they were going to have an Amati, but they called it a Mazda Millennia. So this is about 93, 94, somewhere in there. And they had to send you for special training because they had a really weird engine called with a Lyshome compressor. It wasn't a supercharger of sorts. It was kind of like that, but it's a Lyshome compressor was used on tractors and stationary farm equipment back in the 30s. So this wasn't brand new technology, but you had to learn how to use it. You had to learn about the new line. Anytime a new line car came out, all the Mazda technicians, like with every dealership, you go to the school, you learn about all the new things in the new car, the new product line, and you go home. All right. So they flew us to Phoenix, and we're learning about the Mazda Millennia. And the Millennia S is the one with this weird engine, this Lyshome compressor engine. And what they did was they were there like 5 or 6 days. It had to be a week. And at the last day, they said, okay, we're going to do some hands-on stuff now. And it was like 7 in the morning we had to be there. And they said, as soon as you're done, you can leave. You can get on your plane and go the fuck home. Grab a cab. No Uber back then. You grab a cab, get on your plane, go home. They said you have to replace a knock sensor. Now, a knock sensor just listens to the engine, and if the engine rattles or knocks, it retards the ignition timing a little bit so you don't blow up your engine. What the fuck did you just say?
You said retarded. You're going to get in trouble
retarded.
again.
It's ignition timing retarded. It's
I know.
A fucking thing.
I know. You're going to get in trouble, though.
I am going to get in trouble. So the knock sensor the computer uses the knock sensor. If it's making noise, it retards the ignition timing a little bit so you don't have quite as much strain on the engine, turns on the light, and away you go. But on this particular case, these geniuses, they put the knock sensor under this Lyshome compressor. So there we are out in this base. There's like 20 cars, and there's 20 of us working out there. We got all the tools, and they're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. And you have to go through the procedure. You got to get the car, get the keys, get the ticket, go get the car, pull the car in, tear down, go order your parts in the parts department. Parts department gives you the parts. You go back, you put it together, and you're done. And you have to give them the old part.
Is there a time limit?
No.
Okay.
There's no time. I mean, I guess you couldn't go till 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But it's a 7-hour job. We were all very experienced mechanics, top of our field. We should have this done in 5 or 6 hours, and then we can all go home. And I was just pissed. I go, I don't want to fucking do this for fake. I don't even want to do it for real. It's a bullshit job. This is a 7-hour job or longer. I've never done it before. I've never seen one of these things. I just didn't want to do it. And I was trying to find a way to cheat, but the 2 wires for this knock sensor went down under this big fucking compressor right in the center of this engine. And I was just sitting there beside everybody's just assholes and elbows. You look down, that's a real automotive term. You look down the row of cars, and all you see is mechanics' assholes and their elbows moving because they're bent over the hood of a car, working like crazy. And I'm standing there just fucking fuming. I haven't even lifted a wrench yet. The hood's open, and I'm pissed. I'm going to need another drink. We can continue talking about this. I need another drink.
Stop talking.
All right. So I can see the knock sensor, but there's no way to get to the 10 millimeter bolt that undoes it. You can't fucking do it. Not going to happen. Not going to get there from here. And so I'm seeing it down there. That's the last one? All right.
That's the last one.
It's the last one. I have to open up a whole new bottle now. And I took off all the covers and everything. There's a lot of bullshit in the way. But you can just see it down there and go, fuck, I'm not doing this. So what I did was I had a long pair of dikes. No, that's not a sexual reference to women. They're diagonal cutters in the industry. They're called dikes. And I reached down as far as I could in the wiring and cut the wires to this knock sensor way down inside there. Okay, hold on. I'm getting yelled at in here. Read the sheets. SJ, read the sheets. Okay, I'm reading it. Facebook personal, Jack Armstrong, here for the Hooker Fund. 130 stars sent for the Hooker Fund. Mama X, member for 1 year. My husband has no idea I've been listening and watching the whole time.
1 year?
Now, see,
she lives here.
Mama
Jesus.
X my husband has no idea I've been watching the whole time. I'm picked up on the fact that my dick should shrivel up right now because I'm in trouble. My butthole should pucker. You're laughing because she's only been part of Gen X Talks for a year?
Yeah, I think that's... I see different funny things.
You clearly do.
Yeah.
I'm upset. And you're like, well, what's wrong with this?
She'll forgive you because she loves me so much.
She'll forgive me because she loves you?
Yes.
There's some truth to that. I'll go along with that. Facebook personal, Michael Callahan. Where are you going to throw the Raiders? When are you going to throw the Raiders in the ocean with center blocks?
Cinder blocks, probably.
He said center blocks.
Oh.
And how am I going to throw the Raiders in? I still haven't seen their new stadium, which I want to go see. Melanie Tucker from Facebook, your boy ain't going to last much longer. Any more shots and he's toast. Yeah, he's a lightweight. He's fucking done. Jeff Raffle Tony on YouTube. General, I'm having trouble finding my gas tank for a 1975 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Do you know where I can search for one and get one? It's
behind the license plate.
It's not behind the license plate.
Okay. We need to stop.
Look, Torque says it's behind the license plate, man. If you're driving a Cadillac and you can't find the gas tank, look behind the license plate. What's it called? Carparts.com, car-parts.com, and put it in there. You'll find one like in 5 minutes. My
old Camaro had that.
Where am I at?
Gas tank behind the license plate.
SJ is Sammy Joe. Okay, I did not know that. All right, back to my story. Where the fuck was I? So I reached.
You had a long pair of dikes.
Long pair of dikes. Like you do. And I reached down there and I cut the wires so far back inside there. And I pulled the 2 wires up. Now the sensor's still down inside there. They want it replaced. I've cut the wires now. And I have my new sensor. And if you don't replace it, then they're going to know because you can't get the check engine light out. Check engine light will not stay out. They rigged this where there's a bad sensor. The check engine light's going to stay on, so you have to replace it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I also know the knock sensor just sits in a little hole, a little galley, and listens. It doesn't really know where it's at. So I took and I cut those wires way down inside there. I spliced the new sensor. I cut the new sensor pigtail off, cut the connector off, spliced it together, and took my hand and shoved it way down there next to the old one. And as I got down in there, I just taped it. I had a big thing of fucking tape. It was duct tape. And as I stood it down there by the sensor, right to the side of the bottom of the compressor. Just right down there and just stuck it right to rub my hand and stuck it to the side. I put all the plastic covers back on. I got in there, cleared the codes, drove it around the block 3 times, came back in and said, I'm done. So it was an hour and a half and I was done on a 7.5-hour job. Everybody else was still lifting their compressors out. I was going home. And a guy came out and says, what the fuck? I said, look, I'm done. Now, the only thing I didn't have was an old sensor. And I don't think I've ever told this part of the story. One of the guys who was super fucking fast, this dude was fucking quick. But in an hour and a half, I'm talking about how to cheat. He's already got the compressor off. He already had his old sensor out. Well, I grabbed his old sensor as I walked by, put it in the box and turned it back in. They looked at my stuff. My check engine light was off. The car ran okay. They saw the wires going down there. They thought it was okay, and away I went. No fucking way was I going to do that. Was I going to sit there and fucking no was I going to spend? I wanted to go home. This wasn't even a paying job. This is part of class. Well, they figured out later what I did. Somebody took it apart and complained and bitched and whined, and they weren't going to give me my certificate for passing the class, which I did pass the class with flying colors. And so that became an issue with the dealership until the owner of the dealership called him up and said, give him his fucking certificate. I paid for the class. He went there. Fuck you on that part of the thing where you're making him do it again. If he has a problem working on cars, I'll deal with it. Fuck off. This is my best guy. And they did. They gave the certificate. They put me in the computers, passing it, and away we went. How I got that job in Vegas, just so you know, this is one of my more prideful stories. I've told this one before because it makes me look good, of course. There was I drove to Vegas. I knew I wanted to move there. I drove up there. I stayed at Circus, big mistake, but it was really cheap. And you know, in Circus,
no room service.
No. You know what I learned there? That you know, refrigerant R12 is bad for the environment. You got to capture
the chlorodifluoromethane, something like that. Yeah.
Do you know how they get gum off of carpets at Circus?
They just spray that shit on.
They spray
and they freeze it.
Big tank of R12, and they come by and they spray it with a wand. The gum freezes on the carpet, and they pick it up. I'm like, wait a second. So it's okay for your industry to fucking put that shit out there where everyone's walking around, but I can't. And he's like, now you're catching on.
Yeah, look at all the people who use canned air at the office. It's the same shit. And you know, if you're an AC mechanic or you do compressor service, if you don't capture all that, you can be in California at least. It's $25,000 fine per infraction. Yeah, but you can just blow the shit out of it. You go to Office Depot and get a flat of canned air. You just blow it in the atmosphere. Right. Fuck all. Yeah,
they don't. That's office work. It's okay.
Yeah.
So. I spent the night and got the newspaper out, and there was advertisement for a Mazda mechanic. I'd already worked in Mazda dealerships, had all my certificates, was top of my game. And so I go into the dealership the next morning, and there is a room outside of this plexiglass window where the secretary is, and it had 25 or 30 chairs around the outside of this square room filled with mechanics filling out applications for the one position. And I walked up to the window and I said, is the mechanic's position still available? And she said, it is. It has not been filled yet. I said, oh, good. I'll take it. And every head came up like, what do you mean you'll take it? And I said, well, if it's not filled yet, I'll take it. I want the job. Let's go. Like, sir, you're going to have to fill out this application, and you're going to have to sit with all the other applicants, and we'll get to you. And sometime this afternoon, you'll have an interview. I said, okay, look, on this big application, all I did was write down my social security number right across the middle of it in big letters. I said, just take that to your service manager, have him put into the Mazda computer system my social. That's all we're going to need. So she took it back there. She gave it to the service manager. He ran my name, all of my Mazda credentials and certifications and all the shit I'd ever done, all the competitions I'd ever won. He came right out and he said, will you work for this many dollars an hour? I said, yep. He goes, you're hired. And I said, I waved to everybody in the room and said, see you guys. And they fucking were pissed. Because you know where I got that from is the I'll take it thing. It just came to me, but it was from a movie, Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal. And it was the movie called Running Scared. Yeah. And they went to a repo yard, a police repo yard, to get a drug dealer's Mercedes. And like, you can't take that car. You can't take we're going to drive it around in his neighborhood, in his territory. No, you're not taking that car. So Gregory Hines is talking to the guy. Billy Crystal walks up, pops out of the sunroof and goes, I'll take it. Like it's a new car. And he drove off. Yeah. So when the lady says the job was available, I thought of that. I stood up and said, I'll take it. And then I got the job. So that's how that whole ball got rolling down the thing. But the part you wanted me to tell on my way home, which now you have to open up my other jacket.
Because it's an airplane story as much as it is a mechanic story.
It's a bullshit story is what it is.
Where's your jacket?
Over there. We've always got hooch. I can't believe we're still talking here, but we always got hooch.
This is like summer 2 years ago.
It is. It's like summer 2 years ago, huh? We got to get Lionheart back here and Iceman out here.
This one?
Yeah. That's not Apple, right?
No.
Yeah, don't give me that fucking Apple bullshit. If I want fruit and vegetables with my alcohol, I'll choose that myself. Give me that Green Label bullshit. That's it. Lionheart drinks that apple cider. He drinks that Jim Beam apple. Crown Apple. That's right. God, when he came out here to work to put the studio together with all you boys, we had to have like 5 bottles of Crown Apple because that motherfucker could go through 1 bottle a night. Easy. Yeah, but he was like 7 feet tall too and 300 pounds. He's a jolly green fuck, I'm telling you.
He could put it down.
He could put it down. Why are you twisting a cork? I just saw you twist a cork.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? Why were you twisting a cork?
I don't know. I don't drink whiskey. What do you think about that?
All right, here's one more drink to the airplane part of that story when I was down there fucking around with the Mazda Millennia in the mid-90s. I'm waiting for you because I'm going to see you do it, you goddamn hippie. You redneck, hillbilly, Inbred Jed, Backstreet Holler, Daddy Still, Milky Licking, Rope Sucking, Fruity Yes.
I'm waiting for the Milky Licking. I know it's getting close to the end of your rant.
Milky Licking, Rope Sucking, Ding Dong. You're putting Gatorade in there again.
I have to mix or my stomach will be on fire.
Well, you don't want your stomach on fire for what's coming out.
You buy me a pizza?
I'll buy. Yeah, fuck yeah. You want pizza? We'll get a pizza.
All right, we'll go raw then.
All right, cheers. Now get on your camera. You got to show everybody you're drinking. He's
Cheers.
drinking. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, down. All right, look at everybody drinking with us. Houdini's in there.
Who we got?
Danny H. Houdini again. Noel, King Wisenoak, John Jensen, Scott Royston's in there. I knew Scott would be here. Scott's faithful, man. He's always around here. Cool cat. All right. So I get done with my class. I get done fucking around with the Mazda Millennia and take off for the airport. They still, at this point, they still hadn't figured out that I'd fucked around and made anybody upset. Okay. So I go to get on the plane. This is like 10 o'clock in the morning because I'm really fucking early. Yeah, for those of you who think I'm bald, I'm not bald. I got a lot of fucking hair, so fuck off. All right. Houdini says, is that the JD bonded finally? Is that bonded? Did you?
Yes, sir. Yep. It's the bonded.
Low has confirmed that is the JD bonded.
Yes.
All right. So.
Also not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Yep.
So anyway, here's the gig. So the flight is delayed. Now, in Phoenix at the time, I'm assuming the airport's still the same, terminals, you can see the planes. You know, they're right up, you're sitting at the big windows. And there are guys in the pilot and co-pilot's chair, and they're fucking around. They got a book open, and they're scratching their heads, and they're pointing, and they're flipping pages, and they're scratching their head. And this is a true story. I'm like, what the fuck are those guys doing? Finally, one of the repair guys comes walking up the gangway. I said, hey, what the fuck's going on, man? He goes, we got an indicator light that we can't get to go out. They're working on that. And I said, hey, being a mechanic, I said, let's not work on making the light go out. Let's work on the problem that's making the light come on. Here's a thought. We were there 2 hours. Finally, they go, hey, we got the light to go out. You can get on the plane now. And I said, now, this is me being a mechanic. I said, you boys want to run this around the block a couple times before we get on? I mean, let's make sure it's okay. I mean, I do with the car. I fix the car. I go take out the light. I go test drive the car. Make sure the light don't come back on. I test drive the car. Go a couple laps around the block or hit the freeway. Make sure that everything's working okay. Then I give it to the customer. Like, nah, we're good. So everybody piles on this fucking plane, and I'm like, God damn it! I just wanted to go. I just wanted to go home. All right. So we're sitting there, and you're sitting there. People are coming on, and they're doing some shit, loading some bags, and the fan's blowing in my face. The lights are on. All of a sudden, just sitting there, it goes. Lights go out. Fan quits blowing. Everything's dark. So now I'm a little more concerned. And you know that fucking flat card, that flat card that comes up and with the cables, and they put it in the fucking belly of the plane, and they put it in the belly of the plane, and then they're like, okay, and boom, the engine comes back on. It's like, all right. My mind, we jump started it. We're back to go. And fans blowing in my face, lights are on, everybody's going back to normal, put their stuff away. We taxi out, we get out to the taxiway, and we're in line, 35 planes, we're in line, and guess what happens? Lights go out, fan quits running, everything's dark, and a few minutes later, out comes this little fucking flat car thing, and they plug back in and boom, and the engine takes off. I'm like, okay, now I'm fucking nervous. Now I'm fucking upset. Now I'm pissed. I'm like, I want off the plane. I want off the plane fucking now. You guys go fly this thing around. Run out to Catalina and back. Tell me everything's okay. Then I'll get on the fucking plane. Sir, it'll be fine. It goes, not going to be fine. Something's fucking wrong. Nobody's listening to me. Go down the taxiway a little further. Comes our time to take off. Low Torque, I don't know if I can continue without another drink.
Oh, well,
I'm
We can't have that.
I'm getting nervous. I'm starting to sweat. Bad things are happening. Strange things are afoot. Oh, your favorite part of the story is when I'm scared and getting ready to die? Thank you. Appreciate that. I will tell you the rest of the story at Low Torque's request, but he's got to sit and drink with me because he knows what's coming next. I'm switching back to your camera now. Fuck you. I'm going to show it. Is that an Apple Watch? You weren't kidding about gadgets, are you? You like those fucking gadgets.
I like them if they're easy. I like them if they're easy. I like them if I don't have to read directions and if they're intuitive.
And is an Apple Watch that way?
Yeah, everything just hooks right up. You know what's great about the like all of the Apple products? They've got this ring back here, and everything charges universally, wirelessly. It's
really?
just it sticks. So you can get a magnet holder for your car or for your desk or whatever, and it will not only hold tight, but it will charge while it's holding it. It goes through there's like inductive charging or something through this ring. I may be making up terms, but yeah.
Well, we're allowed to at our age.
It's pretty great. Yeah.
Intoxicity.
Be so kind as to not correct me at this time. Thank you.
We didn't come here for a grammar lesson, so fuck off. All right, here we go.
Cheers.
Oh. All right. So now it's our turn to take off. As you might guess by now, I'm a little upset. Not happy about this. Plane takes off out of Phoenix. And it just goes up like at a 45-degree angle. And it's climbing, it's climbing, it's climbing, it's climbing, it's climbing. Now, remember, from Phoenix to Vegas is like a 12-minute trip? I know it's longer than that. It's 30-some minutes. But it's nothing. By the time you get up, you go flat, you come down. I got it. So it's climb. And all of a sudden... lights go off, fan quits blowing, the entire plane silent as a crypt. Silent as a fucking crypt. Got to move R2-D2 over here. He's moving back and forth, so hang on. R2 had to sit there. Sit fucking still. I knew I was in trouble when I looked at the stewardesses and they were like a deer in the headlights. They were like a cat about to get run over by a Maserati. That look. I knew when they were worried, I was more than worried. All of a sudden we hear the plane. Nothing. Plane was falling straight down nose first. Now, it wasn't really falling straight down nose first, but that's how it felt to me. I mean, we were going down and clouds were just going by the window. I knew we were going straight down. I could feel it. I knew it. I knew it in my heart. Plane perfectly silent. Some drunk guy way in the back. He yells, "Try it again! Try it again!"
So like restart the modem situation?
Motor. He's like, fucking try, don't let us crash. Hit that fucking key again, man. We're going down. I mean, you can feel it. You're sucked up in that chair and you're in trouble. Old drunk guy screaming, and all of a sudden the pilot, boom, and it started. Oh, thank God it fucking started. And up we went. 90 degrees straight up like an F-35, F-22 Raptor in the afterburners going straight up. That was us in whatever little tiny plane we were on. We weren't on a puddle jumper, but it was fucking close. We got up to altitude, and as we landed in McCarran, I call it McCarran. You guys call it Harry Reid. I call it McCarran. As we landed in McCarran, we actually fucked up the balance of the plane because everybody was at the front of the plane trying to get the fuck off. They never told us what happened. They never offered us an explanation. They never offered to refund money or give us a discount. And that was almost the last time I ever got back on an airplane as long as I fucking lived. I couldn't do it. I could not do it because I realized up in the air, I had no control. When I'm in a car driving and something happens, there's collisions and there's accidents, there's an earthquake, there's a Superman type of chasm opening it up and Lois Lane's going in the side and I got to figure out what I'm doing. I got a couple choices. There's some things I can do to affect my position in life. not an airplane, you're fucked. The only thing I could think about, the only thing that made sense to me in my generation, my generational X thinking, and it probably would have worked, to be fair, I think all of you that have been drinking with me would agree, was that if we would have hit the bottom, if that plane, you're back on camera now because I'm getting your reaction here, if that plane was going to hit the ground, like an elevator dropping from the 30th floor, I would have to know when to jump.
Yeah.
I would have to, that's what I thought of. I thought of, okay, this thing's going to hit the ground. It's going at 300 miles an hour. I'm going to jump up at 200 miles an hour, even for a split second. Now I'm only hitting the ground at 100 miles an hour. I might have a chance at that.
As long as you can jump negative 199 miles an hour.
That's what I was trying to tell you. Yeah, turn that mic towards you.
Oh. How's that?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, right there.
If I jump as hard as I can, right when we hit the ground, I have now offset Isaac Newton's theory of relativity enough, I might have a chance. In fact, I was kind of in the plane planning my move. I had thought, if this works, I'll be the only one on TV. And when someone says, how did you survive? I'm going to say, well, my generation knows this is what you do to survive.
You absolutely do.
I was all over. Now, fortunately, we didn't have to put that to the test. But that's how it ended.
How were the other people reacting? Were there some people that were trying to be cool to save face?
No.
Were there people screaming like, I'm going to fucking die?
Everybody was silent when the engines went dead. And then everybody was mumbling, holding back their breath, packing. As we were landing, we're on approach. We're on final approach. Please fasten your seatbelts. Put your trays in the upright position. Keep your seatbelts on. Fuck that. Everybody grabbed their gear and was up front. That plane was nose heavy when we landed because every passenger was like, fuck you. We're
Get me out. Yeah, and there's probably parents telling their kids, "Oh no, it's fine. This is normal. This happens all the time." Yeah, don't be worried. Yeah, the brave parents.
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to anybody else but me, and all I could think about was, man, I'm fucking hungry.
Did you ever wonder if the mechanic who failed his duty at making that airplane flyable cheated on his fucking NOx sensor test?
I don't know. I feel bad now.
Because maybe that dude cheated, and now the plane doesn't fly, and a little bit of karma bit you in the fucking ass.
Well, I'll tell you what.
It's a valid point.
When I'm fucking around with the car, if it quits, you coast over to the side of the tow truck. Not on an airplane.
Sure, but does it say mechanic on their shirt?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's some in my business. They're everywhere. There's cheaters. Now you were at least confident enough to back up your cheating with, well, I can fucking do it anyway. I just don't want to. But there's some people who cheat, and that's and they can't do it. Yeah.
I was in a test situation in a classroom environment, and I was just an arrogant asshole. Like, I'm not going to fucking do this job for free. This is what I get paid to do. I get paid money to do this. You want me to do it just to prove I can? Fuck off. And then I left. But
yeah,
I think if an airplane mechanic had done that in a classroom environment, it'd probably be on his side. As long as he didn't take the airplane and put it out on the road.
That was probably a jet engine mechanic too.
Yeah,
like it's more critical because of turboprop. Yeah.
No, this was not a turboprop.
Oh, it was a jet. Oh,
it was a jet. That's why I didn't understand how they started.
Damn, yeah, I don't know.
I thought you had to have a thing to...
Guess you got to have some airspeed. Yeah, I don't know much.
Well, we had airspeed, baby.
Yeah, if you're dropping like a rock.
We were fucking going straight down in my boat.
No shortage of airspeed.
You wanted.
Lots of altitude, lots of airspeed.
All right, let me jump back over here between the sheets, see what's going on. Michael Halligan, Facebook Personal. Since you have ever owned a pool, have you ever asked a bunch of blondes what's the smell of the scratch at the sniff sticker at the bottom of a pool?
Oh, I get it. They'll drown if you tell it.
Yeah,
there's a scratch and sniff sticker at the bottom of the pool, and then the blondes, that's.
Oh yeah.
No offense to Sammy Joe, but that's they will take a good sniff.
That's the fucking dumbest joke you've ever told. You need to drink more or less.
Yeah, I can.
Sovereign Firefighter, $5. Okay. Before we go any further, the dude is a sovereign firefighter. I mean, that's the guy you want on your team, right?
Yeah.
You want it. When you're calling in some hot shots that there's a bad situation, you get sovereign firefighter first.
I want the sovereign.
I want the sovereign guy. Yeah. All right. Sovereign firefighter, $5. You have one big set of balls. This represents Gen X perfectly. My wife would say, how big they are. Did you ever see that video?
Of your balls? Fuck no. I don't want to see your gonorrhea. Jesus Christ. You said it was clearing up. Is that what you want to show me? You asked me over. Say, hey, look, it looks better now, right? And the inference is that I saw it before. I detest your invite.
What the fuck are you talking about?
God. I don't know. Just you mentioned balls, and I didn't sign up for that. So I'm gonna show you something. Will you have a drink with me? And it's all been lies from there. You sit on a throne of lies.
I didn't say, have a drink with me. Look at my balls.
That's for you, Trippy.
Fucking Trippy.
Yeah, he told me to fuck with you.
All right. No, I meant, have you ever seen the video that's on YouTube about the ball check story about my wife?
The video on YouTube?
True story. No. She people ask her, say, did that really happen? And she goes, yeah, it did. You don't know the ball check story?
No, but I know so many others. Like I know the naked in the hallway story. I know
No, this was right up there with the naked in the hallway. This was you pour me another shot. I'll tell you the ball check story. You're not gonna fucking believe it. This is true, and it's on YouTube. You got to go look it up. If you go to our channel, look at the ball check story. I'll paraphrase it for you. You get the whole story there. But I'm gonna drink right now. You're going to drink right now. We're going to talk about the ball check story, and you're absolutely going to fall in love with my wife a little deeper than you already are. You can't help it. Everybody loves her a little more after the story.
That's the deal.
All right. Carefully calculating his mix of Gatorade and fucking...
Half and half.
You ready? I got mine up. You got yours up? Here we go.
Cheers.
All right. So... this is like 10 years ago. We're out with couples. There was like 3 couples, and we were all friends.
Are there pineapples involved here?
No.
Okay.
No pineapples involved. No upside down pineapples involved.
Gotcha.
All right. So we go to dinner, and this one woman who is she's part of the couple. She's married to this guy. We love the guy. We love the guy so much. He actually used to work for me. He was a great guy. He was so cool, we tolerated his wife. But she was always running her mouth, telling stories. You're like, oh, my fucking Christ. It's like, well, we dig this guy so much. Let's put up with her. Every time. And this is all 3 couples. We go to this Mexican restaurant, and this is where we started the evening because we went bar hopping, and we did a little karaoke.
Right.
Pool.
And wait. Back up. You karaoke'd?
What do you want to know?
You karaoke. Tell me, name one song that you karaoke'd.
The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Oh my God. You did the falsetto?
I did the falsetto.
Oh,
part.
Jesus Christ. That's
really
another.
Good at it too.
You're going to, okay.
All right. Yeah.
All right. There's a barbecue coming up, and there's a karaoke machine out there for rent. And I think everyone will stand with me. If you stand with me,
bring it to the barbecue. I'll do it.
You heard it here.
I got to have this many drinks.
Yeah. This many. Okay.
So we go out there,
Lion
and
sleeps
the
tonight.
first place we go to is a Mexican restaurant. We're all sitting around the table, having some chips and dip and getting our food ordered. And she starts talking about her husband's balls. I have no idea why. She goes, oh, I don't even know what it is. His balls are so big. I mean, I've had boyfriends and I've watched porn, but his balls are the biggest balls ever. And we're like, okay, that's fucking weird. And we're not even drunk yet, so it's hard to accept this information. And our friend is sitting there going like, oh, my fucking Christ, just telling his wife, shut the fuck up. She won't. So we go through this whole thing. First place we go to, and she's talking about his balls. They're so big, his balls. And we talk about other stuff. And then we go to the next place. We sit down, have a few drinks, going to shoot some pool. She goes, you know what? I'm just going to go home, and I'm just going to grab his big balls. And here we go again, down the road of this ball conversation. We go to the next place. We're singing karaoke. In fact, it was on Buck Owens at a hotel that it looked like an Adobe place that had a bar in there with a couple pool tables in back. You might know where it is, but anyway, so it was on there. And she starts talking about his balls again. No one really understands what the point is, but she is talking about and enthralled with his balls, her husband's balls. So we finally
enthralled with the balls.
We're just calling it a night. It's like 1 a.m. and we're just having a few drinks. Everybody's drunk off their ass. And she's like, yep, going home, just going to grab his big balls. And we're like, fuck. So now we walk outside. We're done. And we're on the sidewalk of this parking lot. It's kind of a big foyer area. And in fact, it was over on, there was a wings and a bar place over on Panama, I think, in Ash, some Shell station in the corner.
Yeah.
And we're standing out there. And we're kind of in a circle because we're all saying goodbye. You know, we're all standing in a circle, and it's like, oh, I'll see you tomorrow. You can do this. Yeah, we're doing that. So you want to come over? Yeah, we'll help you with that. I got some stuff. Just talking.
Mm-hmm.
And she does it again. She goes, well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. By the time I get home tonight, I'm going to have 2 big balls in my hands. Now, listen to this. We're in a circle. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
We're in this parking lot. We're standing there in a street light. We're all in a circle. My wife walks straight across the circle to him, pulls his pants back, sticks her hand down his front, and grabs his balls. Pulls her hand out, lets him go, walks back, and she goes like this. They're okay.
She just needed to know.
She did that.
Holy shit.
She fucking walked over, and the wife who saw her do this.
Oh my God.
And we were all like, fuck yes, finally.
Yeah.
Someone did something to shut her up. She got mad and slapped her husband.
What?
She got mad.
Oh my God.
She reached, she looked at my wife, she looked back at him.
You know why?
She looked at my wife, and she slapped her husband in the face.
You know why?
No.
Because she had bigger balls.
Probably.
Way bigger.
Way bigger balls. But I was so proud of my wife at that moment going, because this is like 6 hours, 7 hours of this woman not shutting up. No one said a word. We didn't encourage it. We just tolerated it. And at the end, everybody's drunk, including my wife. She'd had a bunch of drink. And she's like, fuck it. And she went over there and did stuff to hand down there and said, they're okay. And that was it. Nothing sexual.
Yeah.
But boy, did it put her in her place. And she shut the fuck up. She slapped her husband. They didn't want to go. She didn't want to go out with us as a group of friends.
Yeah.
For weeks after that. And he just thought, I called him later. I said, hey, man, I'm really sorry about that. He goes, no, we're fighting right now. But he goes, that is exactly what my wife needed.
Oh, good.
That is exactly.
Because he was tired of it too.
Oh, he's tired. Yeah, completely tired of it. That was the fucking coolest thing. And my wife has done some outlandish things like that, but never something so on fucking point with what was needed like that, where you just like, all right, fuck this. You know, I'm tired of this shit. And she just took care of it. That's a true story. The extended story is, you got to look up Ball Story or something on our YouTube channel.
I'll check that out.
Dana Wells, Facebook personal, JD Triple Mash or JD number 27 if you can't find it. Never had Triple Mash, Dana. Had 27. There was a couple different numbers. I don't know if you know this or not, Low Torque, but for a while, Jack Daniels produced different numbers. They have old number 7.
Okay.
They have some different numbers. And I actually took time to read the bottles and the inlays on those packaging. It was the distiller. It was distiller number 27.
Oh.
Their master, Jack
The
Daniels.
brewmaster or something.
Yeah, it was his
okay.
blend. So they did that for that. That's what Dana's referring to.
So it's not a Heinz 57 situation where it was just the 57th formula or the WD-40.
No.
Yeah.
Ryan Laughlin, Facebook Blue. I'm laughing about the fact your son started this page and somehow I'm watching you telling history. Hey, fuck the ambush videos, Ryan. Those fucking suck. They're bullshit. Fuck them. This is me talking to my friends, radio personality from Los Angeles back in the 80s. I'm with you guys, but fuck those other stuff. Facebook personal, Michael Callahan, 20 stars send. Ryan Laughlin, Facebook, kind of like your son building your career. This is not a career. This is a flash in the pan. When it's over, it's over. Anyway, so there's a... Yeah, so you remember the naked hallway story.
Yes.
Now you got the ball story to go with. There's a few. Did you ever hear the running naked through the grape vineyard story?
No. Was it a sticker patch?
No.
Okay. No, I didn't hear that one.
We'll have to save that one for another day. All right, listen, we're now 2 hours and 20 minutes. This is like the old days, man.
You're torturing the staff right now. Poor Trip
staff
and Josh, they gotta.
Like
they're just like, can we stop already? It's like Oh,
all right. Well,
too many sheets.
One more drink. Pour me one more drink, my fine feathered friend. Let's drink one more together.
All right.
We'll say goodnight to everybody. We'll get on to the real meaning of you being here.
Is this so I can television game more prominently in the front of your... I'm going to do it. When you're gone...
Well, no one heard what you said, so I'm going to let you start over. Get your drink and start over. What now?
The real meaning of me coming over, actually, after he showed me whatever he's going to show me, is I'm going to move my television game to where it's more prominently displayed in the background, because
you gave me the perfect Intellivision game, the best Intellivision game ever, which was Sea Battle.
And it was absent for a while. Finally, your wife found it.
I don't organize behind me.
No, I'll take care of that. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to talk to my wife about that? You're going to straighten my wife out on that. After.
You know what? It'll be 3 days before she gets back. That's 3 days. 3 days if it goes my way. Yeah.
All right. One last drink before we say goodnight. Here we go. Cheers to everybody. All right. So listen. Yeah. Trippy Pineapple says you owe us dinner.
Yeah.
Disney Kid, you owe us dinner. Oh, you guys fucking shit.
These poor guys.
Sammy Joe says you owe us downtown Disney dinner. Sammy Joe's on staff. She's swinging for the fences. All right. Listen, I don't know where you guys are listening in from or where you tuned in from, but thank you for wasting an hour, 2 hours and 20 minutes of your evening. I don't know where you decided to waste your evening from around the planet. AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you're wasting your 2 hours on the Armed Service Radio Network. No better place to waste 2 hours in an evening than Gen X Talks. It's a true story, or at least true, it's a story. Everything I told you tonight, every story I told you was absolutely true. Give or take a lie or two. I got that from Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp used to say it all the time. He'd tell a story and say, that's the way I remember it, give or take a lie or two, which means it's 98% true. All right. Listen, I got to go. I got to get out of here. I got to find my ending screen and stuff and stop you guys. Thanks to Low Torque for showing up, everybody. Thank you guys, Low Torque. Thank you, Low Torque, for being here, for hanging out with me. We got more to come, but it's off camera, off scene, off credited. You're never going to know what's happening.
I'll tell you later.
The polls will go up. The Singapore hookers will flood in as soon as we're off camera. That is, unless you guys have access to the studio camera, which those of you on YouTube at the highest level do. Not that it's on, I don't know. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I'm not sure where you're listening in from around the planet, but remember two things. Number one, wherever you go in life, well, there you are. Don't you ever forget that. No one can take that away from you. And number two, and probably most importantly, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Good night, everybody.